Don't make me mute you right off the rip. My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jakey and I are going to break down the entire UFC London fight card, giving you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our DraftKings plays. And there are 15 fights on this card. We did pretty well last week. I'm up money. Safety parlay absolutely cashed. It was at the expense of Jacob's lock of the week. It was one of the worst lock of weeks we've ever seen. That lock of week was so bad, that fight was over in 34 seconds. Absolute trash, dumpster fire of a lock of the week. The streak is horrible.
I mean, I can't believe
full fade god status.
The curse nature of what we're going through between multiple drop fights, multiple headbutts, multiple doctor stoppages. We had point deductions, and now we have somebody just snapping their arm in half in the first 30 seconds. So, I mean, listen, I don't know who out there put whatever on me, but let me know what I got to do to get this thing off of me, because we got to get back on track. And this week, I think we got a good one. I think we both agree we got a real good one this week.
I don't know. Estela Nunes was an absolute horrific lock of the week. I agree. Kind of a fluke thing, but as soon as she got taken down, that fight was over. But Jacob still ended up money. I ended up money.
I was 10-3 on picks. I don't know how you did.
I don't remember, honestly. It was about the same.
Right, it was right around there.
Yeah, picks were pretty good. Safety parlay hit. All in all, last week was a very good week if your name isn't Estela Nunes. And one last quick reminder about last week. Part of our premium membership is DraftKings content. It's not just the picks and the bets. We have an incredible DraftKings package for you. You're going to get ownership projections, scoring projections. You're going to get the optimizer, all sorts of detailed written breakdowns and rankings, everything you could ever need. Our DraftKings ownership projections are quite literally the best on the planet. That's not just a sales pitch exaggeration. Here are the actual numbers from the 6 biggest sources on this planet. Big, huge websites that charge $100 a month and up. And then there's our score right on the right. And we had the lowest margin of error at 3.88%. It's not an accident. We have somebody on the staff. His only job is to do DraftKings ownership projection data. That's his job. We pay him to do that, and he does that incredibly well. That's included with premium membership. And it wasn't just DraftKings that did well for some people. Here are betting tickets from our premium members. Jacob, we were tagged. We were thanked. These were put into the premium or the winning tickets channel on the Discord. These are tickets from premium members only. And there's about $13,000 worth of winning tickets. You know what I love about these tickets? Not all of these are exactly what they weren't just copy paste bets, right? Some of these went against my opinion or Jacob's opinion. But the point is,
nobody ever goes against my opinion.
The safety parlay did, and it fucking won. The point is,
how were you feeling on that first leg? Because
the first leg where she got the takedown immediately. What an absolute joke.
The first leg of the parlay, that was a split decision win for the 600 favorite.
Yeah, that was a little close. He wasn't 600 favorite. Anyway, point is, we have the sharpest community in the game. That is not an accident. They have access to tools and information. One of those tools is the line movement tracker. This week's a wild week. There are 15 fights. 5 of those fighters, so 5 fights, the underdog has flipped to a favorite, or vice versa, depending on which fighter you're looking at. Lots and lots of movement on this card, which means there's a lot of traps. The pitch is over. Now let me give you $50. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners, and I will send you $50 as a thank you. It's affiliate marketing. I pay out thousands of dollars a week. It's the easiest thing in the world. If you're looking for an online sportsbook partner, use our link, make an account, make a deposit, and I send you $50 as a thank you. Listen, there's 15 fights to break down. I'm not going to let you slow this down or be...
Hey, do you like that song, Monica, For You I Will?
I don't even know what that song is.
For all time.
It's annoying. That
you don't know For You I Will? No. Wasn't it in Space Jam?
I hit him hard. That's it. That's what I know for Space Jam.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was in Space Jam. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, become a premium member. It's only freaking $10 a month. You'll get the entire world. Sign up using our links with our betting partners, and I'll send you $50 as a thank you. It's that simple. We got a couple of super chatterooskies. I think one super chat from Quint.
We got a membership. from Joey T.
Quint said, don't be a cheap bastard. Buy premium. Come hop in the Discord while you're at it. Maybe like the stream too. Quint.
Like the fucking stream, for the love of God. Like the stream, eh? Hey. We going to do
Thank
it?
you, Quint.
You want to do this in a British accent?
No. Thank you,
Have
Quint.
you ever done a British accent?
Oi. That's it.
I don't think that's British. Oi, bruv.
Oi.
Bruv.
Joey T, 26 months of membership. He says, how's this going, everybody? Hit the like button and become a member. If you aren't yet, you won't find anything better than WWP.
Boy,
I agree, guys. I agree. It is literally, quite literally, the best package in this space. It's not some dump of a Patreon with a list of 3 bets. It's not a spreadsheet. It's a full-blown interactive website with everything you could ever imagine.
Oh, we're still talking about
bets,
this.
Information. Yeah, they want to thank you.
I can't sing fucking Monica, but you can sit there and do the second fucking full-on pitch in the last 6 minutes.
I think it's important that we share our product with the world.
You just fucking did.
I think it'll save lives. It'll save lives.
If I wanted to find your bets, Angelo, where could I find them?
Eric found them. He only spent $10. He found them all. WeOnPicks.com. He clicked.
Boy, mate.
Remember. All right, let's go ahead. We can jump in. We can break down this card.
Tea and crumpets, eh?
First up, at UFC London. I feel like we've had 5 UFC Londons in the last 2 years, but UFC London.
They should start numbering them, honestly. Wouldn't it be
agree.
cool if
They're
it was
going
like
very
UFC
often.
London 5 and UFC London 10, you know?
Yeah, they're going
But
much
I mean,
more
I'm
often than they
smarter
used
than
to.
most people, so nobody else probably thought of that.
No, 100%. Your lock of the week's real window into the genius.
What's your deal? I mean, what's your deal? Do you want to get something out, or I mean, you really kind of harping on that, like you really want to say a little bit more.
You did nothing but send troll text messages the entire week, nonstop petty bullshit about.
Did you not see
lock
that
of the
left
week,
hand
and
that
then
she landed?
Lost.
Did you not see the left hand that she lands, and then the
I saw her
wildly desperation shot that she
That
barely
worked.
No,
The shot that worked.
I think her arm was broken before that. I think she broke her arm on that concrete skull.
Yeah, I'd break my own arm to avoid the embarrassment as well. Anyway, let's jump in.
Oh, you're.
First up, at UFC London, we have Jafel Filho taking on Daniel Barez. Jafel Filho is 14-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5 years, coming off that loss to Muhammad Makhachev. He's taking on Daniel Barez, 16-5 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's riding a nice 4-fight win streak into his UFC debut. And Jafel's a pretty fun guy to watch. He's a fast-paced guy. He's going to engage in a firefight. He's going to work in some takedowns. He can get wild with his striking, but he's going to throw some heat. His takedown defense is solid. He has takedowns of his own as well. He's mostly looking to strike with you, but if you pressure him, he's not going to like it. So he's going to back up, and that's when he's going to look for a clinch or a takedown. He doesn't typically come forward looking for those. I mentioned he's coming off that loss to Muhammad Makhachev. If you remember that fight, he had Muhammad Makhachev in a knee bar where his knee
that was your arm.
It was a knee bar. Oh, well, I'm not going to put my leg up here, so I'm going to demonstrate with my arm.
I think we could really spike
He
those
had
views.
him in a knee bar. He had him in
Stand
a
up
knee
and
bar.
back up a little bit.
Here. He had him
Let's
in a
do a
knee
little
bar.
twirl. Let's
Where
do oh
this
my God. DOS.
was back here.
If you stand back there with your knees straight, what do your kneecaps look like? Do they look like little babies?
I have Osgood Slaughters, so they have giant lumps on them.
Now say that again.
Osgood Slaughter. So you're short. I'm not being a dick. You're short. You did. Osgood Slaughters is, I forget the exact. It's like my knee, my body grew faster than my knee, or the other way around, something like that. So you just got a big ass, big.
Is that why you're a hunchback?
Not a hunchback.
Okay.
That's why you have.
Go back there and walk from one side of the room to the other.
We're not doing this.
Oh, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
This
I'm not a
15
hunchback.
Here we go.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
It's a joke.
That's fine. We'll move on.
Oh, show your dick. Oh, you won't? You got a tiny dick.
Well, I don't want to lose the channel, Angelo. There's nothing wrong with just walking across the room. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
So stand up next to a tape measure.
What's that?
Mr. Tall Guy. Yeah. Okay. Solve that problem. Anyway, he had that knee bar insanely deep to the point where it is shocking that Muhammad Makhachev is walking to this day. He's taking on Daniel Barez. Daniel Barez is also a fireball. He's going to set a hell of a pace from bell to bell. He has powerful boxing, slick BJJ. He's got takedown when he needs him. Why are you pretending to be frozen? His BJJ is slick. He has no problem chasing submissions or hunting for a finish. That's sort of an issue, though, because he can lose positions because of it. He gets a little too excited, a little too anxious, trying to make something happen, and then gives up where he could have just settled in for control and kept that round. This is a close fight. There's a bunch of fights where I actually agree with the line movement, and this is one of them. Jafel Filho, big favorite, and that sort of collapsed down to, it's not quite a pick 'em, but it's getting there. And I agree with that. I think Barez is, going to come out hot. I think Jafel's going to come out hot, but Jafel's going to fade. I think Barez is just such a hard guy to get out of there. He's so durable. He's tough. He's not going to slow down. I think he's going to make Jafel work. That's going to exhaust him. He's not going to settle in. And I like Daniel Barez to win this fight. I like him in the underdog spot. The line's closing. He may be the 6th person on this card that flips to a favorite. So Daniel Barez the pick for me. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, he's going to be my pick too, but I mean it is razor thin, and it comes down honestly to the first round in my mind, because when you watch Daniel fight, I mean he comes out like crazy in that first round, crazy good striking, good pressure, good smart pressure, not like coming out just winging wild shots. We'll mix in a takedown. He is a good grappler as well. The biggest red flag in the world is his level of competition. I mean, he has fought absolute cans and looked good. I mean, he's looked good against them and a lot of first round finishes against those type of fighters, but it just has not been to the level of Jafel in this fight. So that is a concern. But even in those fights, you can tell he still knows what he's doing, right? He's throwing good strikes. He's doing what he needs to do in the grappling, in the wrestling. And in this fight, I like him because I like the forward pressure. And when I watch Jafel fight sometimes, I see him backing up. I see him tentative with the strikes. I see him going for front chokes. I see him on his back. He is too accepting of going for a front choke, ending up on his back, and trying to play that guard game. And I think that Daniel is a good enough grappler to withstand whatever he is going to try to do on the ground. And I think he's the better striker in this matchup. So I am taking Daniel Barez in this matchup. I thought about putting some action on him, but I think the odds have gotten a little bit too close for me to find value in Daniel because the level of competition is a huge red flag, and that first round is you're going to be able to tell pretty early, I think, who's going to win this fight.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a super close pick for me as well. If you're a premium member, you see the picks, but also our round line leans and our confidence in the picks. So I've got Barez, but obviously not the highest of confidence, and it's not a knock on him. He's just sort of a wild guy that's going to give up positions by accident. Jafel Filho, I don't know if I trust his cardio the whole way, or to your point, he's a little too willing to play the jiu-jitsu game.
If there's anyone I don't trust their cardio, I think it's Daniel. That's why I'm kind of worried about that first round. How is he going to come and look after the first round? Just because he's so aggressive in the first round.
He's very aggressive, but I mean, I hear you. I think Jafel's issue is going to be playing that jiu-jitsu game,
getting that
relying on that a little too
look
much.
on his face is going to be his biggest issue.
He's very scared. $8,300 to $7,900 in DraftKings. Man, I think Barez is decent for DraftKings at $7,900. He's going to come out hot. He's going to put in some work. I think he'll get some takedowns. He'll throw some bombs. Potentially could get a finish, and you're going to get him at a 7-something. I don't think it's necessarily a bad play there. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, honestly, in this, if he comes out looking to grapple, which I don't know if he's going to because he does like to strike, but if he comes in trying to grapple, I think he can get 3, 4, maybe even 5 takedowns in the first round because Jafel is good at not defending the takedowns, but being able to scramble back to his feet. So he'll accept the takedown and then try to scramble out and then maybe get taken down again, and those could really add up. So could be a sneaky play.
Yeah, he gets a little overzealous, chases things, they're not there, and then people stand right back up on him. So I think we're sort of aligned here. Not the most confident pick, but it is an underdog pick to start off the card. If you want to see everything else that we do, WeWantPicks.com, click become a member. It is only $10 a month. Speaking of $10, Sam Pierce sent $9.99. He said, hey guys, quick question. Am I overthinking this? Aspinall may not be 100% and he's fighting in the same arena he got injured in. Is Tybura worth a shot with all this in consideration? Listen, I love the super chat. But what are we supposed to do? Break down the main event? The first fight of the night?
Wow, dude. All you have to do is get like a short
I don't think I talk about it in that breakdown. I don't think
it matters.
The knee is an issue for him. I don't think it's an issue for him at all.
Well, I think this is like a mental thing he's asking.
Gave him a gift. I get it, but I don't think it's an issue for him at all. It was sort of a freak one-off thing. He's been very Yeah, and he's been very normal in his interviews, all this stuff. Who was the fighter that I broke down? Was it? When I broke down Jimmy Crute for the Alonzo Menafield rematch.
Game over. Like, Crute, game over.
I was like, I've been watching his interviews, and he won't shut up about Alonzo Menafield's power. He's obviously worried about it, and that's what happened. Where here, Tom Aspinall has not made this knee injury his entire personality, so I think he's totally good.
Hey, Jay, I went 10-3 last week. Fuck boy. Sorry.
Yeah, tell him. Kick him out.
Yeah.
I'm all about. Just
get out of here. You don't come back, Jay.
Some guy, Diego's like, let's get to the breakdown already. Bye, Diego. Bye, me.
Suck my dick, Diego.
All right, relax. Next up, at UFC London, we have Bruna, Brasil, taking on Shauna, Bannon. Bruna, Brazil's 8-3 overall, 4-1 in her last 5, coming off the loss to Denise Gomes. She's taking on Shauna Bannon, 5-0. She's undefeated, and she is making her UFC debut. And Bruna, Brazil is a solid striker. She's got really good power. She's really creative on her feet. She throws everything. She's going to throw a Superman punch. She's going to be spinning back kicks. She marches forward, uses her entire arsenal, and chases finish. She also got some takedowns as well if she wants them, if she needs them. The problem, though, is that her striking is all offense. She's got no striking defense whatsoever. You can touch her if you want to, but if she's coming forward,
if it's consensual, you can't just run up and touch her. You said you can touch her if you want to, but always ask. You should always ask.
If she's dictating the striking pace, she will have a ton of success. She's taking on Shauna Bannon, UFC debut. She's a striker. She's like one of these. I feel like every week we're breaking down some world champion kickboxer, and then they go in there and their striking just looks terrible. I did all my tape study on Shauna Bannon, and then I learned she was a world champion striker. And my notes did not align with any of the tape I watched did not align with the fact that she's a world champion. That's not what I saw. Even though she technically is somehow, that is not what I saw. Well, she's ridiculously tough. She's got a traditional martial arts background. She's always coming forward. She likes the pressure. She doesn't seem to force things, meaning she's very comfortable, but she doesn't flow very smoothly. She relies on that pressure. She's just moving forward to have success. Like, she literally is just marching forward with volume, and this is how I'm going to win the fight. It's not the cleanest in the world. She is incredibly tough. She seems to be very strong. I haven't seen a tie-up or a clinch situation where she didn't sort of have control of it because of the strength. And she does have a couple of slick submissions to round her out. So I don't want to be overly harsh. But again, watching the fights and then hearing she's a world champion striker, that's just not the vibe I got. Bruna was a little bit exposed in her last fight, right? She was this big, hot prospect coming in on a win streak, had that Contender Series finish. Everybody expected her to have power and striking, but she ended up just backing up, got lit up a little bit, and then ultimately finished. I do think this is a much different fight. Shauna is tough, and she is going to pressure forward, and I mentioned Bruna doesn't do that well backing up, but I don't think Shauna's very dangerous, and Bruna definitely is. So I like Bruna to get this done. I wish I got it at the plus 135 underdog odds because that would have been amazing. But, you know, when I did this breakdown on Sunday for Quick Picks, it was even money, and so she continues to move. And I think a lot of people are just seeing what I saw with the tape breakdown. And Bruna's definitely super tough, and this could be an interesting fight. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, neither one of these girls is probably going to be like a contender or anything like that, but it should be an interesting fight stylistically because, as you mentioned, Brazil is known to be this long, rangy striker with decent power, knocking girls out and this and that. And then she came in, and the reason why I picked against her for lock of the week was because she is just so casual. And you mentioned as well, her striking defense is just lean away, chin in the air, and just try to like slowly, there's no footwork with it or anything. I mean, it is just absolutely way too casual. And yeah, Bannon is not the greatest striker in the world, but at least she's in there, looks more the part, I think, in like some pocket boxing type, matchups, a lot more than Brazil. And what I love about her too, as you mentioned, is kind of her come forward, aggressive, will stay in your face, will work the clinch, will get a takedown, will work the ground game. And I think it's going to be the ground game where she's really going to excel. I think she's going to pressure the long-rangey striker. She saw how Gomes had success in that fight previously. She's going to get in the pocket. She's going to get in the clinch. I think if she wants to get Brazil to the ground, she can get her to the ground. And I think that's where she's going to have her success. So, I'm obviously kind of a Brazil hater because I picked her against her for lock of the week. And anytime I pick against somebody for lock of the week, I think they're just not a good fighter. There's a reason for that. So I'm a little bit biased, but she's just way too casual in everything she does. And I think Shauna Bannon is here to make a debut. Mama B.
I mean, I could see that. Like I said, I think I picked Bruna because I think she's actually the cleaner striker of the two. Obviously, he's got a little more experience here. But I could see Shauna just pressuring forward. And Bruna doesn't do as well backing up as she does going forward. But I don't know. I saw some... I mean, she's only 5-0 in her MMA career. It's very early.
No, I agree. The tape isn't anything. I'm not picking it because I'm like, oh, she looks fantastic. I just think stylistically she can be a little bit more aggressive.
I was just surprised when they said world champion kickboxer. I was like, what? Not what I saw.
Yeah.
Like, when Alex Pereira fights, that was a world champion kickboxer. He looks the part. Not even the knockouts. He just looks the part. But that's just not how some of these fights were. But anyway.
I've always thought that anytime I watch Alex Pereira fight, it always looks like he has no idea how to fight.
Really?
Until he throws a hook and you're like, oh, okay. I don't like that. Just the way he plots forward. Did you see the video of him boxing the boxer? No. In training. I saw it the other day. I don't know how old it is, but the guy, like an actual boxer, and Alex Pereira's walking down hands low, and the amount of times that boxer snapped his head back with a jab was fucking incredible, because that's just a little bit different than a MMA type jab. And he was like, pop, because he just fucking couldn't see it at all. It's kind of funny.
Well, back to this fight. Jakey and I are split on this. I imagine low confidence for you.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything with it.
Yeah. So we are both split on this. I think it's a DraftKings fade for sure. $8,600 to $7,600. The only upside is here. It probably goes to a decision, but I don't know how much grappling is going to be worked in here. And if there is any, it probably will be on the Bruna side. But I'm going to fade this from a DraftKings perspective. But if you want access to all of our picks, our bets, our DraftKings plays, the optimizer, and everything else, WeWantPicks.com, just click become a member. It's only $10 a month. If you want to sign up for the whole year, it's only $100 for the year. That's a discount.
Some people are doing $100 a month for their stuff.
$5 super chat from Dan Fox. Dan says, Jakey boy, when Paul Craig wins, you must do a full body war paint on your next video for a full Scottish accent.
Do you know how to read?
Apparently
Swear to God. Answer honestly. Do you know how to read?
I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, so today I do not know how to read. No. Do you know what happened?
You didn't even finish the message. The ending's the best part.
My wife said DM her the moon too. What's the moon? Your ass?
I don't know. I'll figure it out though.
I don't know, but I'm going to start there and we'll see what happens. Thank you for the $5 super chat.
You want to see the black hole?
Chewed bubble gum. Fucking dirty bastard. Next up at UFC London, we have Chris Duncan taking on Yanal Ashmouz. This is one of the more talked about, one of the more controversial fights on the card, if you will. Not controversial, but definitely a lot of people split on this fight, and the line movement is incredible as well. We got Chris Duncan, 10-1 in his career. He's 4-1 in his last 5. He is riding a 3-fight win streak. He's taking on Yanal Ashmouz. This guy's undefeated, and he's coming off that huge upset win in his UFC debut. Chris Duncan is a heavy-handed guy. He is absolutely tough as nails. He's never out of a fight. There has been more than one fight in his history or on his record or whatever you want to call it where he was lit up, almost knocked out cold, and then survived, picked himself back up, came forward, and then got it done himself. So he's a tough, gritty guy that's hard to get out of there. He can grapple as well. He's got 7 takedowns in 3 fights under the UFC umbrella, but he can struggle a little bit with control. He's coming off that split decision win over Omar Morales where he had 5 takedowns and landed overall more strikes. He's taking on Yanal Ashmouz. This guy's very well-rounded. He does a great job adjusting in fights, right? He'll make those small adjustments. He'll say, this isn't working. Let me wrestle. He's going to come out as a striker first, work in heavy. He might even work in some spins. and then move to the wrestling if he's not having the success that he thought he would. He's got a solid chin, solid base. He can be heavy on top if he gets the takedown. There's nothing amazing about him, but he does everything pretty well. He's coming off that win over Sam Patterson. He was the biggest winning dog on that card, and Jacob and I were all over him then. And I bet on him the whole 9. And that's important to note here because I recognize, Ashmouz is very good. But me picking him and betting him when he was like 3-1 underdog or whatever it was, plus 275, was, yes, had to do with him and his skill set, but also his opponent. Sam Patterson was chinny and got hit constantly. And yes, Chris Duncan can get hit, and Chris Duncan you could call chinny, but this dude comes right back up, gets right back up, pressures forward, starts throwing, can wrestle, doesn't quit on himself. So I think Chris Duncan gets it done. I have a bet on him at minus 125. It has continued to move. It's now minus 145. If you were a premium member, you saw it. You saved yourself a couple of bucks there. But I think Chris Duncan is absolutely going to get it done. I think he's proved time and time again that he belongs, that he's dangerous, that he's tough, that he's durable. And I'm not saying that Yanal doesn't. I just think Chris Duncan is honestly, I think he's just going to be too tough here. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, someone in the chat is like, Jacob was not on Yanal. He was Chicho's person. That's absolutely wrong. Somebody in the comments tried to do that this week too. You and Angelo both. Like, no,
just
we
go
were
watch the video. Yeah.
It was like
Video's
it was, and that's a good point that Angelo brought up because I said the same thing in my quick pick video. The reason I chose Yanal in that fight was because you watch Sam Patterson. He's just this 6'6" dude that just holds his chin out in the air and really wasn't a good striker. So we're like, oh yeah, that definitely guy is probably going to get knocked out, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, Yanal did what he was supposed to do, but I don't think you can carry that over to this type of fight. What?
Oh, my God. Jacob froze.
What?
Holy crap. Oh, you're there now. Go ahead. Nope, you're not.
Are you like fucking with me right now?
I can't hear you. Oh, you're back. Talk. There you go. You're back. Go ahead.
I literally don't think there was anything wrong on my end.
No. It completely... I watched the bars go down. It said X. Go ahead.
No, I'm watching on YouTube, and I don't think I froze. Yeah, he didn't
I was
freeze.
I was just interrupting you saying that?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. All right. Sorry,
I have no idea what I was saying at this point, but I'm going with Chris Duncan in this matchup. I think he's going to be a little bit more live early, and some people in the chat mentioned it as well. The ATT, I think that they're going to have a really good game plan. His wrestling is really starting to improve with being at ATT. He's mentioned Grant Dawson, all the help that he's given him, and I just think that he can. I think the gas tank is going to win in this fight, and I think I can trust Chris Duncan's gas tank a little bit more, especially with his offensive wrestling. You saw in that Omar Morales fight. I know there wasn't a ton of like takedowns and control, but there was a lot of hanging and controlling against the fence, which will wear somebody down, especially a guy like Yanal. So Yanal wants to come in and kind of grind. I know he's kind of flashy with that last knockout, but he wants to come in, he wants to grind, he wants to get a takedown or two of his own, and I just don't see him being able to use that game plan against a guy like Chris Duncan. So I understand the discrepancies that people have. They see Chris Duncan getting dropped. They just saw Yanal knock this big dude out as a big underdog. They're trying to put 2 and 2 together. Maybe that works out, but I'm taking Chris Duncan.
Yeah, I like...
Now this guy's spamming clown emojis because he was absolutely wrong. He says, y'all are clowns. Dude, you're calling us clowns because you were absolutely fucking wrong and got called out for it, you stupid bitch. Oh, you guys are
What was
clowns.
he wrong about?
Huh?
What was he wrong about? That you picked Patterson fight?
Yeah, he's like, Jacob did not. Well, yeah, these guys just got called out.
The worst part is it's on video. Just spend the 4 seconds and watch the video.
He's a fucking weirdo.
Anyway, we're both on the same side here. I've got a bet. I don't know if you do or not, but like I said, I got a little bit more value than you're going to see here. If you want to become a premium member, become one. It's only $10, but then make sure you link your Discord so that you get alerts. So that you got your alerts to your phone saying, oh, Angelo hit Chris Duncan at minus 125. If you like it, great. If you don't, then put your phone back down. No big deal, right? Don't just blindly copy. But it'll help you get ahead of some of these lines, especially prop bets. $8,400 in DraftKings, $7,800 in DraftKings. I think I like the $8,400. I think he will work in some wrestling. One thing I forgot to mention here with the wrestling, let me go back. You're going to see takedown average, Yanal Ashmouz, 12 minutes. This takedown average, it's average takedowns per 15 minutes. So Yanal had like one takedown in 2 minutes, and then they just extrapolate that out over the course of a 15-minute fight. So sometimes you'll get inflated numbers like that, but both of them can wrestle. I expect Chris to wrestle a little more. So $8,400 in DraftKings may be worth it. What do you think about DraftKings?
Yeah, he's going to be maybe another one of those sneaky plays just because he could rack up a bunch of takedowns. And then somebody said, Jacob bet me $500. I have you know, I'm not betting on this fight just because I make a pick. You know, I'm not that confident in it. You got kids behind you.
Where's mommy? I'll go get her. I'll go get mommy. Go back in your bed. I'll get mommy.
Is she crying?
Yeah, because Tiff came home after I put him to bed. Jesus Christ, man. We have a $1.99 super chat from Denistasis. He says, Jacob's picks video, choose Muniz. Lock of the week's Paul Craig, WTF. Why don't you answer that question while I sort this mess out?
Things change. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Listen, this lock of the week this week is, I'll be straight up and honest, and you guys can tell, especially premium members, can definitely tell when I'm very confident in the lock of the week and when I'm not very confident in the lock of the week. And if you see my bets this week, you'll know that this is one of those. Listen, we've been screwed. The curse is absolutely real with the breaking of the arms, the point deductions, the headbutts, the canceled fights. There's been a few canceled fights on Lock of the Week. Why did he take his headphones out? Now I can hear myself in this echo, and it's really fucking annoying. But it's obvious that there is a curse. So until the curse is lifted, we're just going to have some fun with the Lock of the Week, right? I mean, there's different levels of Lock of the Week. There's very, very confident ones. There's this. And this is just one of those ones where it's going to be fun. Saturday midday card, hanging out, and we're just going to have fun with it on the live stream. So that's why. I made my pick on Sunday, and then I was like, So we switched picks. Things change. Yeah, you taking out your headphones. That's fucking terrible.
Why? Oh, the echo? Oh, my bad. You can hear me? All is good?
I don't know. It sounds weird, but I don't know.
Well, it is what it is. Fucking kids. Another $1.99 from Christian Quincio. Quincino. Christian Quincino. Thank you, Quincino. Next up. At UFC London, we have Ketlen Vieira taking on Pannie Kianzad. Ketlen Vieira, 13-3 overall. 3-2 in her last 5. She's coming off that close loss to Raquel Pennington. She's taking on Pannie Kianzad, whose image I had to flip because her hair is so freaking huge. I couldn't have her facing the right direction on the graphic. Anyway, Pannie Kianzad, 16-6 overall, 4-1 in her last 5, and she's coming off that impressive win over Lena Landsberg. Ketlen's a very powerful come-forward striker. She's got solid takedowns, solid top work. She marches forward, throws heavy. She looks to tie you up. She looks to trip you, drag you to the ground. She's not really super fast. She's not super athletic, but she is big. She is strong, and she's pretty fundamentally sound, and she relies on all of that to get through these fights. She's taking on Pannie Kianzad. Pannie is a very good pure boxer, so she's going to come forward, has a great jab. She never throws just one single punch at a time. Everything's in combinations. Her footwork is good. She can outstrike the vast majority of this division, and she has an impressive 80% takedown defense. She's probably going to need that in this fight. She's coming off that win over Lena Landsberg. She was knocked down, which was not good, but she survived that and just dominated the striking. This is an interesting matchup, and I love this line movement because I'm on the Pannie side. I think... Obviously, we know Ketlen Vieira is big, is strong. She will throw heat. But a little bit lumbering, right? She relies on that size and on that strength, where Pannie's got the footwork. She's got the speed. I think she could dance around, jab, 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 dance around, jab, 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 and just win the fight that way. Obviously, Ketlen has done 5 rounds before. Ketlen has, been in more high-profile fights. She's going to be bigger, stronger, but I don't think she's going to be more technically sound, and I think technique and speed are going to be the difference here. So I like Pannie to get it done. And it looks like the line movement does as well. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty boring fight, honestly. I think Pannie definitely has the speed advantage. Ketlen definitely has the power advantage. And Ketlen will kind of take pictures. She will kind of just plot around and throw a jab and then plot around. And I think Pannie will be kind of walking her down, but she's going to be scared of the power, so she's not going to really throw either. So I think it's going to be a very, very boring fight. But in a boring fight, I think I like the power of Ketlen. I like her control. I like her physicality. When I'm watching Pannie, especially against a girl like Lena Landsberg, engaging in those clinch positions, I just don't know if she can move around a big girl like Ketlen the way she was moving around Lena in that fight. And as you mentioned, got caught with the elbow, was dropped. I mean, popped right back up, but I mean, she was dropped by Lena Landsberg, who is you'll say she's a whatever world champion, but I mean it's Lena Landsberg. So, but this could probably gonna be a boring fight. This is no one-less fight. There's a lot of fights on this card where we're gonna make picks right now. We're gonna say I think this person wins, but we're not playing action, right? I mean, picks are different than bets. So while we're making picks here, make sure you understand that I'm picking Ketlen for this fight, but I understand it's probably gonna be a close, boring fight where Pannie might have the volume. She definitely has the speed and could win that decision. So, but I like Ketlen just because she's a little bit more damage or a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more power. But who knows? I mean, I'll take Ketlen though.
Well, I know. I went with Pannie. I know. Over 2.5 is probably super safe though. It's juiced. It's like what, minus 275 or something. But I think that's it's one of the safest over 2.5s you're gonna get. Oh, I thought you were looking it up. Anyway, Ketlen Vieira.
Slow.
No. Okay. Well, $9,100 for Ketlen Vieira is kind of absurd because I don't think she's going to win by finish. I don't think she's going to rack up a bunch of control time and takedowns and stuff like that. Why? What is it? Minus 400? Minus 300. Yeah, I don't full fade at the $9,100, and I actually don't even think Pannie's solid at 71 because if Pannie wins this fight, it's going to be dancing and jabbing, and that's not going to score that well in DraftKings. If you want to check out everything else that we do and see all the things, weonpicks.com, click Become a Member. Next up, at UFC London, we have Makhmud Muradov taking on Bryan Barberena. Makhmud Muradov is 25-8 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he is riding back. Nope. Yes. Coming off that decision loss to Caio Borralho. Bryan Barberena, 18-10 overall. He's 3-2 in his last 5. He's riding back-to-back submission losses. Bryan Barberena, we've seen this guy a million times, right? He's a fun brawler. He's going to come forward. He's got a pretty good gas tank. He's going to be busy with his strikes. He's going to throw bombs, and he's going to try to win these fights. What's kind of crazy is he does have decent grappling, but you're going to see, well, he was just dominated in grappling. 2 fights in a row, taken down, submitted. But that's RDA and Gunnar Nelson. Like, those are not easy guys to just stand up on and not worry about. But Bryan Barberena, a pretty well-rounded guy, sort of a tried-and-true vet at this point, a take one to give one kind of style with plenty of cardio. If you remember his last win, he knocked out Robbie Lawler right before Robbie Lawler just got his own knockout and retired. He's taking on Makhmud Muradov. This guy's actually a very solid boxer. He's got nice kicks, solid fundamentals. He's very clean. His technique is good. His striking differential is 4-2, meaning he is landing 4 significant strikes for every 2 that come back his way. And he ties all that out with a 76% takedown defense. He's coming off a decision loss to Caio Borralho, where his grappling defense actually looked a lot better than people expected. People thought Caio Borralho was just going to blow through him, and that really wasn't the case. Makhmud is probably the better fighter everywhere, right? Just technique-wise. But Bryan Barberena is a never-say-die kind of guy. He's not just a guy that'll just you get him out of there super easy. Unless you have phenomenal takedowns and grappling skill, you're going to end up in a fist fight. And the pick's going to be Muradov here. What should happen is he comes forward. He's going to land the cleaner shots. He's going to get it done. Probably work in some takedowns after seeing Bryan's last couple of fights. But it's hard to – a lot of people are parlaying Makhmud Muradov. It's hard to parlay a guy who's on this streak here. I get it, though. Meaning, I understand why you're parlaying him. I understand his abilities. I understand his opponent is probably the biggest eye-opener here. So, frankly, I'm not going to shame you for parlaying Makhmud Muradov. He should get it done, but this fight might be a little tougher than people think. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I mean, he should be able to do what he needs to do against a guy like, Bryan Barberena, who is coming up in weight too. So he's going to be, I mean, he wasn't like a massive 170 by any means. I mean, he looked like at 170, like he could have made 155, and now he's at 185. And I think that physicality should help Muradov. If he does get in trouble, he should, be able to get those takedowns that he needs, because we've seen Bryan Barberena getting taken down time and time again. But what worries me a little bit is when I'm watching him, and I'm watching him versus Gerald, and he's landing the big shots, and he's almost getting Gerald out of there in the first round. He does kind of open up, and that's kind of dangerous against a guy like Bryan Barberena, because against a guy like Gerald's really not going to fire back. But once he did start firing back, you saw what happened. I mean, he was getting hit because he kind of tries to brawl out of those situations instead of just using footwork, getting back to space where he's going to be the better striker. If he has somebody against the fence or somebody pressures him against the fence, he will brawl out of those situations. Against like Bryan Barberena, who can eat a shot to give a shot, will just keep throwing volume on you. That is a little bit of a red flag, because you saw him getting tired and ultimately losing that fight versus Gerald because of the pressure that Gerald was ultimately able to lay on him. So, yes, I do think that Muradov is the better fighter, the better prospect, the 185 guy, should have the wrestling, should have the striking, should whatever it takes to win this fight. But I agree, as a parlay piece, as a whatever, Bryan Barberena is one of those guys that will just come in and just out-tough somebody, grind them down, throw the volume, and then come out with a weird win, especially on a weird card like this. So, Muradov, but another fight where he's my pick, but should be medium confidence, I would say.
Yeah, I'm more confident than you in Muradov. So I didn't want to sound like I was whiny there. I just think, I was just trying to give Bryan Barberena the credit he's due. He's a tough guy that you can't really just assume you're going to blow through, especially if you're not a diehard nasty wrestler. But Makhmud should be better everywhere, and that should be enough to get it done. So anyway, $9,500 in DraftKings, that I don't know about, because I think you need a bunch of takedowns or a finish to be worth that kind of money. And Bryan Barberena has been finished, but not
should be finished.
You think so?
I mean, if you're Muradov and you're who you want to be in this division, you better finish a guy like Bryan Barberena. I know he's tough, but I mean, you got to get in there. You got to make a name for yourself.
So stupid, dude. Anyway, I have the flags mixed up, guys. Sorry about the graphic.
Yeah, somebody's like, fix them right now. Fucking fix them right now. I command you, fix them.
It's that guy Jay you yelled at before. I just couldn't imagine spending my Monday night looking. He hasn't commented a single thing in here that was positive. No, just communicating with other people. Just 100% negativity. It's such a weird way to live. Miserable.
You tell me.
Miserable.
I get it. I'm getting a lot.
You're locking. Well, you do it to yourself with those fucking trash ass lock of the week picks. That's kind of on you. I made a little mistake with a flag on a picture. No big deal.
What about this one right here?
Oh yeah, it's Tuesday night, not Monday. Shut up. See, look, they just can't wait to point out mistakes.
What about this one right here?
You just drew a English flag?
English flag. Wow. No, they won that war.
Doesn't the English
you ever seen
flag
Braveheart?
look like that too?
Never seen Braveheart?
I
never have either, honestly. But I know it's about the Scottish independence. I don't know who. I assume for the Brits, but I have no idea.
Well, we took our independence from them, so fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them.
Unless you're from there and you're watching, then we appreciate you. Next up. Whoa. He's very pale.
Whoa.
Next up.
Was that a flashbang that just went off? Holy shit.
Next
you could have toned that down a little bit. There's color correction in Photoshop.
I don't know how to use any of that shit.
Holy shit.
I mean, I imagine when you look into a mirror,
here we go.
Similar.
Low-hanging fruit there.
You're making fun of somebody's pale white skin, and here you
I don't
are.
Look like that.
Put your face close to this picture. You're brighter than
Okay,
that.
yeah, let me turn off this light and watch what happens.
Oh, so sitting in the dark. If you sit in the dark at 8 o'clock at night, you're not as bright white as Mick Parkin. That's what you're trying to tell me?
Look how tan I am now.
I bet you are. It's pitch black in there. What an absolute joke. What an absolute joke. Anyway, we got Mick Parkin taking on Jamal Pogues. Mick Parkin 6-0. He's undefeated. Young in his career, but he is undefeated. He's making his official UFC debut. He's taking on Jamal Pogues, 10-3, 4-1 in his last 5, riding a 3-fight win streak. Somebody just called you the pink salamander. That's solid. Anyway,
someone said this guy's cracking jokes while he has cost a bunch of people money.
Yeah, that's
weirdo, dude. Well, I'm not allowed to fucking just make a joke because I fucking lost a bet or two. I gotta sit here and just be like this.
And you lost your own bet. It's not like you invested somebody else's money. You're not Bernie Madoff. You're radio. Because he's a short bus. Anyway, Mick Parkin is a good-sized heavyweight. He does a great job slowing the pace, taking these fights, just bringing them down to a lull. He's going to come forward. He's going to throw big 1-2s. Then he's going to get a hold of you and take away your sting, take away your striking, take away basically everything you have, slow it all down, and then try to work in a takedown. He does have solid BJJ. He will shoot his shot on submissions, and actually impressively so for a heavyweight. He'll start to wrap things up and try to make something happen that you really typically wouldn't see a 6'6", 260-pound guy try. He's going to wrestle more than most heavyweights, and that's what really keeps him out of trouble. He's taking on Jamal Pogues. Jamal Pogues is a busy heavyweight. He always is doing something. He's always throwing something. He's got solid volume, a decent pace. He doesn't have like that big one-punch power that you sort of expect, but you can rely on his pace. He can grapple as well. His first Contender Series fight, he had 7 takedowns, and on the regional scene, he has a whole bunch there as well. He's not super dangerous, especially not at heavyweight, but he does set a really nice pace, and he can work anywhere. He's coming off that win over Josh Parisian, where he had 5 takedowns, 6 minutes of control time. Unfortunately, we finally get a heavyweight fight. It's been a few weeks. This is going to be a boring heavyweight fight.
Yeah,
this is going to be a boring heavyweight fight.
Jesus Christ.
And it's not like Jamal's fight against Josh wasn't very boring, but Mick's style is like, let's slow this whole thing down. I'm going to lumber forward. He's almost like a Ben Rothwell without the big Ben Rothwell punches, right? Just come forward, lumbering, slow it all down. And I think he's going to look to do that, but I still trust Jamal's pace. I trust Jamal's pressure. I think Jamal's going to get it done. I just don't trust the takedown defense. And,
Who are you picking?
Jamal's the pick. And what I was trying to say there is, sorry, I've been up since 3 a.m. What I was trying to say there is,
here we go.
Jamal's.
You want to get it all out now? Let's hear all the excuses. Go ahead.
I'd love to. No, Jamal's definitely the pick. But the only reason I'm going to fade bets here is I don't necessarily trust his takedown defense. And Mick can just big boy lean on him and try to work a takedown. And how heavyweights is very hard for him to get back up. So Jamal is the pick. This is another line movement I completely agree with, flipping from underdog to favorite. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with the line movement as well. If I wish I would have seen that plus 150 because I would have been all over it. I'm real close. Literally the only thing keeping me from putting a bet on Jamal Pogues in this fight is because it's a heavyweight fight. And I know that this is probably going to be I don't want to say a close fight because I think that Jamal can get the takedowns and get the control. Mick, to me, is, as you mentioned, just kind of plots forward. The stand-up looks, super slow. And Jamal is a good striker as well. He will mix in a takedown or two, but don't make it seem like he is just all-in wrestler. He will stand. He will throw that head kick. He will strike, and I think he can definitely outstrike this guy. And if he needs to wrestle, he can wrestle. But Mick is a big guy, and I think he can stay safe on the ground. And all of a sudden, if he gets one sweep late in a round, now all of a sudden he won that round because I don't think that Jamal is going to do a whole lot on top as far as like posturing up and chasing submissions and stuff like that. I think it's just going to be a lot of just control, and I think he definitely can get that. I'm pretty confident in him in this pick, but to put my money on it right now, it's like heavyweights, man. You know how that goes.
I hear you, and they're not heavyweight slingers. It's not heavyweight like here comes the big power. So we'll see what happens, but I agree with the line movement. So does Jacob. Jamal Pogues is the pick. $7,300 to $8,900 in DraftKings. Full fade. Not touching DraftKings. Not touching bets. I do have plenty of other bets, though. I actually have more out-of-the-gate units on this than I do on most cards, honestly. There's a lot of spots I really, really liked. If you want to unlock mine, Jacob's, and everything else we do, weonpicks.com.
You've even got bets for next week already. Isn't that silly?
I do have bets for next week already. UFC 291. Couple
you
of comments.
Tell them when we're going to go live, too?
You agreed?
I don't think I have much choice. So you might as well just fucking tell them now.
We're going to be doing UFC 291's breakdown on Sunday night live. because I have to travel Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday's the only night it's going to work. So this amazing video will be Sunday night live. We'll get the graphic up. We'll get that scheduled. Join us Sunday. Sunday.
Are you ready for some football?
No, the first Sunday. Isn't that Monster Trucks?
Sunday. I don't know.
That's the Monster
I think everyone
Truck
knows
route.
that little tune. I have no idea what it's from.
Yeah, I think it's Monster
I spent
Truck
all
route.
my
Anyway.
Sundays in church. I don't know about you.
You need
Praise
church,
Jesus.
dude. You need church. Anyway,
Praise the Lord.
Gucci doesn't. Gucci's out here. Oops.
Oh my God, you turned your camera
No, I
off.
clicked the wrong button. I did it. Gucci's out here doing God's work because people were trashing you for the lock of the week, which is 100% free. You do not need to be
Guys, it's
premium anymore.
100% free. I try my best. Last week, only one dog won. What do you want from me? I mean, it's a free. I just do it. I put so much time into those videos. Can you guys just show a little bit of appreciation for everything I do for Lock of the Week? I do my fucking best. I'm not. They're supposed to. Every time I make a pick, they're supposed to fucking lose. They're an underdog, okay? And I'm still at fucking like 18 units.
I try my best.
I do. I literally. This week is. I'll be honest. This week it's like fuck it. You guys want to have? You want to have some fun? You want to keep losing? Let's keep fucking losing. All right. You want to have some fun? We'll paint our face. We'll have some fucking fun with it. But I mean, I'll try my best. What do you think? I'm not losing on fucking purpose. Everyone's like, who you gonna? But it just.
Well, anyway, Gucci. I appreciate Gucci, because you ended up money, as did I, even though your lock of the week was just. No, B-Train asked if I'm traveling for vacation. No.
His whole life is a vacation, baby. You seen that family? Beautiful family.
You saw that kid crying behind the glass.
Every day is a fucking paradise here. Why do you think he drinks so much? He's always on vacation.
People think I'm a straight up alcoholic because of you. And then I lean into it. I join your... This is what happened. Here's a quick peek behind the Jacob whiny bitch window. On Saturday, I hop into the live stream. Saturday, I finally got my brother-in-law sat down. Him and I sat down. We watched 90% of the fights. It was great. I don't normally get to watch every single fight. We're watching the fights, hanging out. I'm not even really drinking. And I hop into the live stream.
Not even really drinking? That's at least 6.
Like a glass of wine or two.
That's at least 6. I know what I'm not really drinking means.
No, Friday I drank. Saturday I really didn't.
Oh, we kicked it.
Still hurting from Friday. Anyway, we're watching the fight. I hop into Jacob's live stream. Every time I hop in, I can be like, "Hey guys, good luck." Jacob's like, "Ooh, good luck," like stupid voice, acting like a turd.
I would never.
It immediately annoys me. It immediately annoys me, and then. So then
the first thing you ever say is always like, "You've lost every bet. You've lost every." It's like, no, now I have to explain to the fucking stream.
No,
literally, Saturday night, I was up like 2.5 units at one point during the prelims. You came in and were like, "Yo, how's it feel losing every single bet?" So I had to pull up my fucking premium bets to be like, "No, Angelo, I'm not fucking losing. What are you doing?"
That's not what happens. I always show up with positivity. I'll be like, "Oh, lock of the or safety parlay just won. This just won," and he's like, "Angelo says." Like all fucking stupid like that.
I don't use stupid voices.
And then it pisses me off. And then I start yelling at people. And then on Sunday, I have to get
no
text.
control. That's why it makes you mad, because you can't immediately rebuttal like this.
Yeah, exactly.
You're worried that they're just going to hear you and not going to see your text. Angelo just.
So then Sunday, Jacob's all in his feels because lock of the week absolutely fucking sucked, and you guys got under his skin. So then, I'm getting angry text messages from Jacob. What a poor experience when you come into the lock of the week, the live stream. Oh man, is that not what happened? Can we be transparent?
I said that you go in the chat and you try to hijack the stream. Yeah, you try to make it all about you.
That's not what happens. That's not what happens.
It literally is what happens. You come in all hot and horny, looking for a man. Some guy was like, "Hey," don't mean. I literally think that he worded it this way. "Hey guys, don't mean to bother, but do you happen to know if the AI picked?" And I don't know what fight it was. And Angelo was like, "You would know if you weren't a broke bitch." It's like, wow. And that guy's like, "Whoa, sorry, man." Like, Jesus.
Because I'm just used to, because they feed off your energy. You start jumping down my throat for no reason, and then it's a whole stream of
they'll fucking go after you.
Dad.
Yeah, they're there
Get
for me,
here,
not you,
Dad.
asshole.
Yeah, sorry for hopping in. Absolute.
Don't let it happen again, please.
Next up, At UFC London, we have Marc Diakiese taking on Joel Alvarez. I got my own little Joel Alvarez history we'll talk about in a second. But
I think we all
Marc Diakiese, 16-6 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss to Michael Johnson. He's taking on Joel Alvarez, 19-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that really, really bad, absolute drudging destruction, half murder from Arman Sarukian more than a year ago. Marc Diakiese is a very good kickboxer. He's become somewhat of a wrestler as of late, though. Striking-wise, he does have a ton of power. He sets everything up with leg kicks and body shots. He's a guy that likes to invest early. He's going to use the legs. He's going to use the body, invest early, and then headhunt later in the fight. He wants to slow you down, sort of take that sting off of everything that you've got. Wrestling-wise, he has worked in 19 takedowns in his last 3 fights, with 26 minutes of control time. He just like overnight one night is like, I'm a wrestler now. And then that's just what he started doing.
I'm going to throw on these knee pads and I'm going to fucking wrestle.
I mean, it was literally like overnight. Actually, you know when it started? When he fought, who was that? Vyacheslav Borshev? Is that who it was? He fought nasty kickboxer.
Slava?
Yeah, Slava Claus. He fought a nasty kickboxer. And we're like, oh, kickboxer versus kickboxer, and he just wrestled like crazy.
Yeah, I think I was embarrassed in that one because I think, oh, Slava's. I mean, he's a world champion kickboxer. He's going to outstrike Marc, and then it's like, what the fuck's going on here?
Oh, he was getting booed. It was bad, and then he just stuck with it. But he's coming off that loss to Michael Johnson, where he had 6 failed takedowns attempts and was outstruck. And I think that's why the line is what it is. Because Joel Alvarez, before his last fight, was like, everybody was obsessed with Joel Alvarez. He has clean hands, which he does. He has unbelievable grappling, which he does. So he's got clean boxing or clean striking, unbelievable grappling. He's knocking people out. He's submitting people left and right. He's huge for the weight class. He's 6'3".
Has he ever made weight?
He has 0 wrestling. 0. He's never taken anybody down. He's never defended a takedown either. Every single human being who has ever tried to take down Joel Alvarez has taken down Joel Alvarez. You're not necessarily safe because he has beaten 3 out of those 4 people. But the last time I broke down Joel Alvarez, it was versus Arman Sarukian. I picked Arman Sarukian.
Arman.
He was a 2-1 favorite. Arman Sarukian was a 2-1 favorite.
For some reason.
You would have thought that it was Jacob picking a lot. It was my first experience on this channel of people just being miserable assholes for no reason. People
and now literally every time I pick a lock of the week, that's what it is. Fade! Lock of the week! Loss of the week!
People went nuts. Joel's going to smoke. And then what happened? Somebody that had takedowns and jiu-jitsu defense just mauled.
Got lucky with the cut.
He mauled this dude. With all of that being said, I just had to get that off my chest because some of you watching were here then, running your mouths then. With all of that out of the way, I still think Joel Alvarez wins this fight because Marc Diakiese is not Arman Sarukian. And yes, Michael Johnson is, tried and true vet, but he couldn't take down Michael Johnson. He couldn't deal with Michael Johnson striking. And you're going to outstrike Joel. Joel Alvarez could quite possibly be the better striker here because Marc has just abandoned his striking. And yes, if Marc wants to wrestle, he will take down Joel Alvarez. But Joel's so slick on the ground, I think I trust him. So I'm going to go against my gut. My gut was this guy sucks. That was my gut for Joel Alvarez because I know he doesn't suck, but my gut was like he can't stand up if he gets taken down. He's not going to defend a takedown. And this guy could be winning all the striking exchanges, get taken down, and then have not be able to get a submission off bottom and then lose a decision. It's a very real possibility, but I still trust Joel Alvarez. And I have a bet on him. I threw a money line bet on this guy. I forget what odds, honestly. I don't have it in front of me. But premium members, you saw that bet in the Discord. I trust him that much. And a lot of it has to do with my lack of faith in Marc after his last fight. That was a pretty bad loss if you're Marc. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest, fight in the world, especially because I believe he won the first round, and then he started doing his thing where he's just one of those fighters that's a very confident, a very cocky fighter, but sometimes that backfires. He's doing the smiling and the antics and all that stuff against a guy like MJ. Ended up losing that fight. He just was not throwing enough volume. He wasn't getting the takedowns, as you mentioned, and that worries me in a fight like this because I think he needs to be locked in, and I think that he needs to strike in this matchup. Do not go to the ground with Joel Alvarez. And somebody in the comments was like, why would he? Didn't you see what he did to Thiago Moises? Why would Marc want to strike with this guy? Because Joel Alvarez has fucking 16 submission and 19 wins, okay? I understand that he knocked out Thiago Moises, but he wants to be on the ground. That's where he wants to be. That's where he lives, on the ground. Doesn't mean that he can't strike. He is a good striker, but for Marc, you are much more live on the feet, especially because in that Thiago Moises fight, if you watch that fight, Thiago was landing some decent shots. This is a tall guy who depends on his kind of size and range in his defense. You don't see him bobbing and weaving with head movement. He is very up and down. He's very tall. He stands very straight up, almost like an Alex Pereira. He comes forward. He does have good striking. He has good range with the striking. But I saw Thiago almost get to that chin a few times. And Marc, as he's been a wrestler, before that was a very explosive guy. He doesn't have like a ton of power. He's not like a one-hitter quitter type of guy, but he can land. And I think that he has enough power against a guy like Joel Alvarez to where if he lands on the right spot, I think he can put him away or hurt him enough. And I just believe in my mind that when I was watching the striking and Joel coming off, the Thiago Moises type win and stuff like that, I think he's going to try and strike with Marc. Obviously, as you mentioned, he can't really get the takedown, so he's going to be there striking. I think he gets in trouble against a guy like Marc. If Marc starts forcing takedowns early, I don't like him.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting because I agree. My bet on Joel is more of a statement against Marc and his last performance because this could look like that Weislav fight. He could just get taken down over and over, elbows in, just avoid any. I don't want it.
I don't want it. And this is another one where Marc is my pick, but I don't have any action. I don't trust him, quite that much. But I think he just stay at range and strike and kind of wear this guy down.
Yeah, well, and he'll be at home, so we'll see what happens. But I'm on the Joel. I'm on the Joel Alvarez side. And I do have that bet on him. I forget the unit number. I forget what the bet is. I have a moneyline bet on Joel. Premium members, you saint it. You went ahead and you saint it. It's an interesting DraftKings play because if you think Marc wins this fight, you probably think he'll get takedowns and hang out on top just based on who he has been lately. No, if you think he wins,
I don't want him wrestling. I
know you don't want him to, but that's what he's been doing.
I know, but he's got to understand the dangers, and that's what worries me because he is a cocky, confident guy, and there's nothing wrong with trusting yourself. Like, I can take him down and stay safe, but that's his best path to victory in my mind because Marc is a very experienced, very good dynamic striker, very good in and out, good defensively. So I think he can stay safe and land the better shots and eventually wear down a guy like Joel in the striking. I don't want him wrestling fucking at all, not one shot.
Well, we'll see what happens, and I regret my bet a little bit. I don't recommend tailing it, but it's up there. I put it out there. It is what it is. The world has seen it. $9,000
now. Just got to pray on it.
I'm probably not going to do the $9,000, but if Joel wins, he will be worth that money. Because
and one thing I just looked because I actually did have notes for this one. For some reason I did notes for this card, probably because it was 15. I was a little bit worried about it. But one of the things I forgot to mention is Marc's leg kicks. For a very long, rangy guy like Joel, he will throw some heavy leg kicks, and that could get Joel in some trouble too. So I want a lot of leg kicks early. Keep your distance. If you want to wrestle late, I guess. This is what I want. I want Marc to shoot a takedown at the 30-second mark of every fucking round. Get the takedown. You're going to get it easy. And if it's a close round, you're going to end up winning the round. And if you're already winning a round, you're going to solidify the round. 30 seconds to go. Shoot a fucking takedown. Double them. Keep them on the ground. You'll be able to stay safe for 30 seconds. And you're good. That's how easy it is. I mean, I could beat Joel Alvarez, I think. Stay safe for 4 minutes. Definitely. Nice little blast double. Easy.
You don't even know if you're a righty or a lefty. I would love, next time we're together,
trust me.
I'll film you in a wrestling
I know.
stance. Jesus Christ. If you want to unlock that bet that I told you not to tail, it's only $10 a month. Go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. You're going to unlock everything. Picks, bets, tools, insight, write-ups. You're going to get everything you could ever imagine. It's not just me and Jacob. You're going to get me, Jacob, Artem, and the AI. The AI is in beta. What it has been doing very well is picking underdogs, but we continue to add, improve, and the pick doctor continues to work on that and make adjustments so you can follow that journey as well. All of it for only $10 a month.
Woo!
Another wild line movement fight. We have Danny Roberts taking on Johnny Parsons. Danny Roberts, 18-7 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight losing streak. He's taking on Johnny Parsons, 8-3 overall, 5-0 in his last 5, and he's making his official UFC debut. Danny Roberts is a striker. He's got solid boxing, good footwork. He throws everything very hard. He's got the power to KO anybody in this division. His takedown defense is not great. His takedown defense is even worse. It's freaking 10%. He's coming off that loss to Jack Della Maddalena where he did...
So you can't see up in my window.
He's coming off that loss to Jack Della Maddalena where he did get knocked out, but before that, he had a very solid chin. He's taking on Johnny Parsons. Johnny Parsons, exciting fighter. This guy is going to bomb away. He's definitely going to be a fan favorite here, and anyone who stands with him could be in some real trouble. If you are technical and if you're patient, you could probably light him up, stay on the outside, but he throws everything, big, heavy, looping shots. Everything he has, just sting on all of it. While he does tend to get sucked into firefights, he actually is capable of solid techniques with leg kicks, and he'll circle out. Takedown defense holds up pretty well. Not much takedown offense that I could see as far as tape is concerned. Johnny Parsons is insanely dangerous. And frankly, if he was an underdog, I'd probably look at it. But he's not.
He is right now.
It flipped again.
Minus 105. It's slight, but it's there.
Well, he started as an underdog, and then obviously the line's been moved, and it looks like it's going back. Because I think what people are seeing here is, okay, Danny Roberts is the better fighter. Danny Roberts also is dangerous, but Danny Roberts was just knocked out. Johnny Parsons is insanely dangerous. This guy's going to bomb away like a maniac, and anything could happen here. So, you know, the pick is going to be Danny Roberts because I just have to go with the more technical guy who also has some power. But Johnny Parsons, I'll watch that line. I'm going to eat my own dog food, drink my own champagne. If this line movement tracker shows that Johnny Parsons is, you know, plus money again, I'll probably hop on and make something happen there. But
did you say something about dog food?
It's a saying: eat my own dog food, drink my own champagne. It's a saying. It means you use your own shit.
Can someone verify that?
It's a thing. Go ahead, Jacob. What is your thought?
Yeah, Danny Roberts to me is one of those guys that is, as you mentioned, he's a veteran. He's been around, and he's very good at everything, right? I mean, it seems like he's just an all-around good fighter. He's good footwork, good techniques, decent power, but he does get hit, and he's really not a master at anything. There's nothing that really jumps out like, oh, he's got crazy power, he's got crazy speed, he's got crazy wrestling, crazy jiu-jitsu. He's just a very well-rounded fighter. There's nothing wrong with that, but he does get hit, and he does get dropped, he does get hurt, and against a guy like Parsons, as you mentioned, will kind of get wild with the striking, but when he is locked into that Muay Thai striking, he is a very high-level Muay Thai striker, and he has sneaky speed and sneaky power. It feels like he almost lulls people to sleep because he will kind of be a little bit low volume at times, just kind of with that Muay Thai style, and he will get hit as well, right? He does get hit, but he's been able to tough it out from, you know, up to this point. We'll see if he can tough it out against Danny, because Danny is probably going to land a shot or two. But when he returns fire, man, it is fast, it is powerful, it is right down the pipe, and I think those shots are really going to hurt Danny early, and I think that's really all it's going to take. So I try to place money when I was breaking down film Sunday on Parsons as an underdog. When I went to place the bet, if he flipped to a favorite, minus 115. Now he's back at an underdog, so I might grab him. And honestly, when I saw that he was an underdog and I broke down this fight, he was going to be my lock of the week. I really like Johnny Parsons. I have action on him, and I think he kind of steamrolls Danny a little bit.
I hear you. I'm not gonna argue that because I like that side as well. I'm waiting for underdog to throw money on it. I am gonna pick Danny Roberts, but you know, I may honestly wait for weigh-ins, especially if that.
Wait, did you say you might bet Johnny moneyline?
Yeah, I'm gonna monitor the line. I'm gonna eat my own dog food. Monitor the line. I said it before you said shit. What's your problem here?
Wow, you're picking Danny. There's a guy in my live stream chat that tried to give me shit for that. Oh, you're making a pick on one side and just betting the other side because I made a plus 3.5 on Austin Lingo.
Literally that bet.
And because after the fight, I was like, oh, well, I got the pick right. I was like, at that point, I was like 5-0 on picks or 5-1, something like that. He's like, you got it wrong. You bet. I'm like, dude, fucking, even if I bet, picks are different than bets, first of all. And it was a 3.5, so my guy still could win the fight, and I could still win the bet, you stupid asshole. The guy who lost his fucking mind for like 25 minutes.
Yeah, I do think Danny Roberts probably wins this fight. I'm just going to put this guy in timeout because he's a fucking loser.
I saw him say, the last thing I saw was, you're the softest northeastern guy, or something like that.
Bye. It's really just a power trip. Danny Roberts is the better fighter, the more technical fighter.
Well-rounded
Johnny
fighter.
Parsons Johnny Parsons hits like a freight train. I'm going to wait for weigh-ins at this point. That stays this close, and we'll see what happens with the odds.
Doesn't Johnny have those like sneaky Muay Thai trips too? Wasn't he getting those like Muay Thai trips?
He's the pick because he's very, very good. I was actually hoping that, that plus 145 we see there, I was hoping that would continue to be the line for a while. Because it's like, he looks a little soft, UFC newcomer, a little sloppy. But I think people just see Danny was knocked out in his last fight and like, oh, well, that's it. He's going to get knocked out again. When the reality is, he's very, very good. And I thought his chin actually looked good in that Jafel Maddalena fight. Yeah, he was knocked out, but his chin seemed to hold up.
What was the fight before that? He got all squirrely with his eyes. Oh, Trinaldo. Yeah, that Trinaldo fight. I think Trinaldo hit him a couple times, and literally his eyes went whoa, whoa, when he started staggering. It was like the Shane Burgos thing. So he's been hit by a few people.
Yep. No, I get it. $8,000 in DraftKings, $8,200 in DraftKings. I think this is a pick your side fight in DraftKings. One of these dudes is probably going to put up some real numbers. I think this goes a little bit longer because they are both tough. And then somebody gets finished, which is great for DraftKings. So I think somebody's going to put up, I don't know, that 100-ish score here in DraftKings because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a finish. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, that nickname, Hot Chocolate, if I was given a nickname, that would be a great one. I mean, that's a great fucking nickname, Hot Chocolate. I don't know.
Your nickname would be Melted Marshmallow. Look at you.
My nickname as a kid was Sprinkles.
That makes sense.
For obvious reasons. We all gave each other nicknames, and I was Sprinkles.
Strawberry Sprinkles.
I loved it.
That makes sense.
Not strawberry.
Oh, what kind of sprinkles then? Because
they'd be chocolate. Sprinkles. I mean, these are all brown dots all over. You understand how that works, Angelo?
What color is the beard?
No, do you understand how that works?
Not so much. I understand it looks like you're a marshmallow that melted. You want to unlock everything? WeOwnPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. You get all the things. All the things. Everything. All of them. Look at this fucking guy, man.
That's a good-looking guy, Dave Grant.
Yeah, look at this fucking guy.
You know what that looks like? It looks like like he's just it looks like like he's a fucking like a lawyer picture on the billboard. Like just that sneaky look that he's got.
Leaning in, one leg forward.
The power look with the, I gotcha. You can look in his eye. If you look in that guy's eye, if David Grant was a fucking lawyer, he's got me. I trust that guy. With that look, I'm going to court with that guy. I'm going to the court with that guy with the murder weapon, waving it around. He's going to get me off. I trust Davey Grant. I did it, guys. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Listen to what I have to say, jury.
Perry says, what's the deal with all these pale pictures? It's UFC London, and people from England look like that. Next up at UFC London, we have Davey Grant taking on Daniel Marcos. Another line flip fight. Davey Grant opened as a favorite. Probably going to close as the dog. He's 13-6 overall. He's 3-2 in his last 5 years, riding a 2-fight win streak. He's taking on the dangerous Daniel Marco. This guy's undefeated, 14-0. He's coming off his second round knockout over Simon Oliveira. Davey Grant's a busy striker. Utilizes kicks for range, punches for damage. He's got some very real power as well that sort of snuck in there later in his career. A lot of you are probably going to forget. You can see his recent fights. He started as a grappler. He is a grappler by trade, developed striking over time, and now he's been a bit of a striker lately. He has 11 fights in the UFC banner, So he has a ton of fight IQ here. Even when he does get dropped, he stays composed. He's able to work through it. He's coming out of that submission win over Rafael Sunsao, where he did drop him first, and then he landed an inverted triangle.
Yeah,
but let's not forget.
Do you know how that all happened?
How'd that all happen?
Well, because there was a fence grab, or was it a fence grab or something like that?
It was.
And
yeah,
they gave up
was winning that fight.
Yeah, and Keith Peterson's like, all right, back to your feet. They're like, no, we want the position. We want the position. They're like, sorry about you. And then Davey Grant fucking, like, because the Sunsao was like tired and stuff. But he finally got that position to just ride out the round and win the fight because he was dominating that fight. And then Keith Peterson's like, fuck you. And then Davey Grant fucking knocks him down and submits a reverse triangle.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I do remember, obviously.
I mean, he was getting beat on that entire fight. It was not really that close fight.
He was, and then his Sunsao retired, which is a shame because sort of a screw job there. But he's taking on Daniel Marcos. This guy's a very effective striker. He's got power. He's got accuracy. He does a nice job stringing together combinations while marching forward. He throws 1-2s, and he follows them up with flying knees, elbows. Takedown defense is a great 88%. And with 8 knockouts on his record and 6 decisions on his record, you know he's dangerous and he has cardio. He's not a one-rounder bust kind of guy. He's coming off that knockout win over Simon Oliveira where he looked absolutely fantastic. This is an easy breakdown. These odds are... I still think this is incredible value on Daniel Marcos. I love Daniel Marcos. I actually got better odds than this just by a little bit. I got minus 121. I put a half a unit on him. I think Daniel Marcos is just going to light up Davey Grant in the feet and defend whatever poorly timed takedowns come his way. Davey Grant does have slick BJJ. So if this does get to the ground, potentially something could happen, but so did Simon Oliveira, and that didn't really work out. So all over Daniel Marcos here. I've got that bet on him, and I mean, one of my more confident picks on this card for sure. What do you think, Jake? Oh, you say this all the time. He's never been knocked out, but that doesn't mean he can't be knocked out, right? He's been knocked down, he's been rocked, and he's only getting older. I think Daniel's probably going to stop him here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Daniel is definitely the more talented fighter and should have the the minus money for that. And he should be able to finish a guy if he is who we think he is, right? And a lot of people have talked. This is one of those people talk about Daniel Marcos. When you're listening to the broadcast, they bring up that other fighters talk about Daniel Marcos. Like he is a guy that could be a top 5 guy in this division. That's how highly other fighters think of him. So he's a very, very talented guy. What worries me a little bit is he will kind of wait and he will land his shots and he will land his shots. But when he thinks he has you hurt or he looks like you are about to be hurt or finished, boom, he will flip a switch and he will lay it on you. And that is very, very dangerous against a guy like Davey Grant, who, as you mentioned, will get hurt, but will fight through those positions. And if you come down, like Daniel Marcos will do sometimes, hands low, trying to chase the finish, throw a little bit wild, and Davey Grant comes up with a shot where you think he's hurt, and he does have power, he can put people away even when he is hurt. So that's what worries me a little bit, because he does get a little bit too wild when people are hurt, and Davey Grant is very, very dangerous even when he is hurt. So I do think Daniel Marcos is going to win this fight. I understand the value that you see, because I do believe he is the much better fighter, overall fighter, and can handle himself definitely in the striking. He is a better striker in this matchup, but there is a little bit, the undefeated guy, when adversity comes and all of a sudden he's, you don't want that first adversity to come against a guy like Davey Grant, because he will fucking drown you if he hurts you in any kind of way. So, I'm picking Daniel Marcos, but I'm staying away from it a little bit. This is actually one of my, as far as like money lines and stuff like that, this is one of my least bet cards, because I think a lot of these fights are really, really close. I have some safety bets and stuff, but as far as like just picking fights, there's a lot where I'm making picks and I'm just like, I don't know if I trust it.
It's funny. I was the opposite, man. I was like breaking down the fights, doing my notes. I was like, yup, this guy. And I liked a lot of the money line. The props is what I don't really love, but the money lines I liked this week.
Cool.
So I have more than usual. Fucking
cool. I bet your nipples are hard saying that.
Well, this one's always hard because it was pierced. This one is not.
I just don't understand why you ever want to casually bring that up. Like, you're secretly proud of it. It makes no sense at all.
Everybody knows.
Well, I don't think they do, because we get literally thousands of new subscribers every month. So people are being like, people right now are going to be like, wait,
what the fuck did you just say? About 1,000. Not
thousands.
No, I wish it was thousands. It's about 1,000.
Well, it'll fucking steamroll, I'll tell you that. Oh, we got $1.99.
No, we're not there yet. $7,700 for Davey Grant in DraftKings.
Did you already pre-read it?
I did read it. Are you going to spend that $7,700 in DraftKings?
That's lock of the week.
I will spend $8,500 on Daniel Marcos.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at DraftKings, but that seems like pretty interesting value. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, you just did that whole breakdown of how Davey Grant was getting smoked by a 40-year-old. And now you're like, I don't know. Well,
he's dangerous. I just don't like the way. Prospect. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like the way the guy tries to finish fights against a dangerous guy. Yeah, I can break down film very much in depth, Angelo. You're right.
If Daniel Marcos, that's why I made it a point to say he's got 8 knockouts and 6 decisions. Because if Daniel Marcos only had knockouts, it would be like, okay, if Davey Grant is tough,
but he does get aggressive when people are.
Sure.
When he's trying to, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what you should do. No, yeah. It's just I want to be elbows. I want hands up here, and he gets a little bit. And Davey's one of those weird dudes.
Well, if you want to unlock everything and anything, $10 a month, it is the most complete premium package on planet Earth. That is without a shadow of a doubt. My challenge to you, if you can find somebody else that has more to offer in their premium, I'll give you a month for free because it's impossible. You're going to find people that have some bets.
Impossible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage. Impossible. Do you know what that is?
No. Do I look like the type of person that would know what that is?
It's Cinderella.
I've seen Cinderella with the girls a bunch of times. I don't remember that.
For a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage.
Why are you watching Cinderella?
Impossible. I mean, I watched as a kid. I just have a fucking decent memory. It's not destroyed by alcohol. You have an alcoholic's brain. So.
Okay. I'm
locked in.
Brain convince you that you were dying of a drug overdose when you weren't?
Yeah, it saved my life is what it did. Yours would just lay in your own vomit. Mine was dialing 911. Well, I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. My subconscious is trying to save me. Yours trying to put you down.
Okay. Anyway, $1.99 super chat from J-Dub. Said, if y'all dated, I bet Jake would be bottom. Minus 250. Thank
if you're
you.
listening on Spotify or Apple, whatever, he says I would be top minus 250, and that's the easiest money ever made.
Thanks, J-Dub.
I'll fuck you up.
What a conundrum that is. He did the super chat, so I got to pin it, but then it's like not something I really want to be pinning.
Where
do I draw the line?
I'll fucking pin you down. Nibble on that ear. That's the go-to move. I was thinking about that the other day. If you guys really want to...
Nibbling my ear?
Yeah, well, if you guys really want to kind of make a statement in the bedroom, when you're behind a girl, get a little on the ear, on the little edge of the ear. They'll really like that. I promise you.
Twister? That sounds like a... Okay.
They'll be like...
I would assume 80% of our subscribers have never met a girl, let alone...
And I had. That's not including me. Can you verify that I have? You're pretty sure.
How do I know?
Yeah, you're pretty sure.
How do I know? You tell me.
I think at one time at the Tiki, you saw me talk to that girl.
I have known you.
I told her I'll take a vodka tonic.
I've known you for many years now. I've never seen you like hold hands or anything.
I don't fucking hold hands. I'm not a bitch.
It's fine. I
literally don't hold hands. You're not gonna fucking hold my hand. Sorry.
No. I get that.
I don't.
I've never.
I don't do anything. I don't do, and that's why I'm fucking single. Yeah, I don't fucking do any of that shit. I don't say, babe. Hey, babe. No, fuck that.
All these people are just gonna be Mike Tysoning ears because you told them to on a fight breakdown live stream. Congratulations. Okay.
Liquor whispering eye. You know what a whispering eye is?
Yeah, everybody does, Jake. Why do you have so many names for buttholes? It's your second butthole nickname.
That's not what a whispering eye is.
What's a whispering eye that I know?
You just told on yourself there. Like, what the fuck? It means vagina.
No.
You've never seen fucking role models? Where he's like, tell her you can't wait to see her whispering eye or something like that. And he's like, do it. And then he says it and he goes, oh, it means vagina.
That's right. I forgot about all that. For some reason I thought butthole, but oh well. You saw the evidence.
How many times have you said that with the butthole reference?
I don't say if I ever reference butthole with a weird term, I'll say chewed bubblegum. That's about it.
Oh, that's what you said earlier, that nobody knew what you were talking about.
They also didn't think eat your own dog food was a saying until I had to throw it in there.
You just make stuff up. You're one of those people, you're like Theo Von. You just make stuff up and people just assume that it's a thing.
No, I'm cultured. Got a real job. Travel the world.
Yeah, I've been to Venezuela.
You haven't been outside of Frisco.
I've been to Venezuela. I told that story before. 8th grade. It was a
your
topless
parents-
resort
Okay.
and beach when I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
Resort. Around the pool, they were topless, Angelo.
Okay.
You know how long I held my breath when girls went swimming? Goggles on.
All right, let's go. Next up at UFC London, we have Lerone Murphy taking on Josh Coulibaugh. This is a great fight. Almost two undefeated guys. Lerone Murphy is undefeated at 12-0. He's 4-0-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision win over Gabriel Santos. He's taking on Josh Coulibaugh, 11-1. 3-1-1 in his last 5. He's coming out of that submission win over Melsik Bagdasaryan. Lerone Murphy, very good striker. He moves incredibly well. He's got a ton of power. He's going to light up your body, completely step out of the pocket, move away, and come back for some more. His footwork is very good. He's dangerous on his feet. His takedown defense is pretty low at 37%, but if you actually watch, I was surprised that it was 37% because actually watching him defend takedowns, he actually seems like he's got some pretty solid scramble skills. He'll work his way back up. He doesn't really accept bottom. He was taken down 10 times in his last 2 fights. He still managed to get the win. Josh Coulibaugh is a solid striker. He's aggressive. He's tough. He throws heat. He's always live for a knockout. He is willing to engage in sort of a dirty inside the pocket fight. He has no problem making it ugly, and you can see that with his negative striking differential. He has hit more than he hits his opponents. He's not much of a grappler, though. While he does have solid takedown defense at 82%, he is 0 for 4 in all of his takedown attempts in the UFC. I mentioned he's coming off that win over Melsik Bagdasaryan. He dropped that dude. You're going to see submission. He dropped him, and he just pounced on him like a cat.
He didn't drop him. He fucking slipped.
He dropped that
He
dude.
literally didn't even... Fucking Melsik just slipped.
He dropped that dude.
He
It was
getting
credited
beat
with a
on.
knockdown. Credited with a knockdown. He just slipped.
He didn't get credit with a
Fuck outta here.
knockdown.
Yeah, of course he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. He just slipped.
Okay, well, take it up with the commission. Any other outlandish, incorrect things you just want to throw out there? Like it's no big deal?
I don't know. I'd like to kind of fix your
He
attitude
actually
a little
did
bit.
not. I should change my attitude. He did not get credited with the knockdown, but I watched that fight and I wrote down the notes that he was knocked down. So I considered it a knockdown.
Well, there's the alcohol again. Whoa! 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 I remember that moment. Whoa!
He did it.
Knockdown!
Well, anyway,
Where's
even
the
though Josh,
nachos?
even though Josh got the knockdown in his last fight, I'm liking Lerone Murphy here. His striking's super fluid. He's got a ton of power. Josh gets hit very often, as we've seen in the stats. Not only does Lerone have fight-ending power, the judges love him. This dude is taken down over and over and over again 11 times. He's getting wins. He's getting draws. Anybody else getting taken down as often as Lerone Murphy is, they're not winning those fights. And the judges are just loving how busy he is, loving how fluid he is on his feet, how dangerous he's looking on his feet, and they don't care about the takedowns, especially because Lerone's working instantly. I think he's going to be a better striker. I think he's going to be more powerful. Josh, obviously, super dangerous, super live, but I think Lerone gets it done. I have a half a unit bet on him at minus 145. You're going to get a discount on that at minus 130. I know you're on the other side of this, Jakey boy. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, when I was breaking down this fight, I agree with everything you said about Lerone Murphy. I think he is the better overall fighter in this matchup. He's got good takedown or he's got decent. I saw the same thing you saw. It looks like he's got good takedown defense, but he was taken down. But he's got good striking. And when I was breaking down this film, I honestly thought that Lerone Murphy was gonna be like minus 200. The undefeated fighter should be the better fighter in this match. But I understand that Coulibaugh is a tough guy, but the biggest red flag is Lerone getting taken down. And as you mentioned, Josh isn't really a grappler. So it's going to be a mostly striking matchup, and Lerone should be the better striker. So I actually thought that I was going to get really good value on Coulibaugh because I believe he is like, and not really in the wrestling, but maybe you saw a little bit in the scrambling ability against Melsik because he did jump on that neck really, really quickly. To me, he seems like the Brandon Royval of the featherweight division. What Brandon Royval does the best more than anything is he's just opportunistic, right? He's not doing anything to do it, but he's just kind of flowing with the fight. And when something pops up, either a shot or a submission or something weird happened, it always seems like Brandon Royval is on the right side of those positions, on the right side of those strikes. And when you watch Lerone Murphy fight, he lost. I mean, he lost that last fight. I have no idea how he won that decision. It was mostly because of the wrestling, but there were some striking exchanges too where you saw the opportunities there. You saw how the shots can land. You saw the scrambles, him losing those scrambles. So Josh Culibao being a very, very tough dude, a very durable guy who is an opportunistic fighter, I just feel like he's going to find that moment. That moment is going to present itself, and maybe there's some, if you believe in a karma situation, I think Lerone Murphy definitely lost that last fight. There could be a little bit of a karma situation where he loses this one because of it. I'm going with Josh Culibao here. I actually did put some action on him, plus 120 or something like that. But I'm on Culibao here. I think that he just finds that moment, which is a stupid thing in a fight breakdown because I'm saying the better fighter. I'm betting against who I believe the better fighter is, but I just have watched enough Lerone Murphy fights where I'm just like, it feels like he's almost due to lose, right? There's just too many opportunities, and I think Culibao is going to capitalize.
So you think Culibao wins, but not enough to make him your lock of the week? I'm not being an asshole. That's a genuine statement.
If I want to be boring. He was. I mean, he was the first dog I bet on. He was gonna be my lock of the week, and I was like,
You're like, fuck it now. I'm the fade god. Let him fade.
All right, we're gonna have some fun with it. I can't paint my face with Culibao.
Well, yeah, you could. That's a hate crime if you pay it to be one of these guys.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, I have to explain ethnic face paint to you.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm ready.
Actually, yeah, that would be helpful. It would help me avoid a lot of.
Of course, I know what you're talking about, Amazon. Jesus.
Oh, thank God! I was really worried you didn't. Anyway, so we both agree Lerone Murphy's the better fighter. I just believe it enough to make him the pick and to bet on him. $8,800 in DraftKings. That's where it gets a little tricky because we're going to need a knockout from him. I'm going to look at his last couple of fights, see what he scored there before I make a decision in DraftKings. If he scores well in those fights, then he'll definitely score well in these because he's just taken down 10 times in 2 fights.
I can't imagine he scored well in those.
I can't either because it's really just lots of striking, no takedowns, no control, no knockdowns really. But Lerone's definitely going to be my pick. If you want to check out all of our bets, including the ones that Jacob just mentioned, he plays WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 a month. $10 a month. 10. That's $250 a week. $10 a month. WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member. Next up at UFC London, we have another sort of controversial fight. We have Jai Herbert taking on Fares Ziam. Jai Herbert, 12-4 overall, open as the favorite, closing as the dog. 2-1 in his last 5, coming off the draw with Ludovic Klein. He's taking on Fares Ziam, 13-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off the decision win over McCall Figlak. Jai Herbert is a technical striker. Actually, I can break down both these guys at the exact same time because they're the same guy. They're technical strikers.
I agree.
They like to fight at range. There's a ton of movement. Their feet are never really fully planted. They don't really fully commit either. They're both low volume. Do they both have negative striking differentials? Nope. Only Jai Herbert has negative striking differential. Jai Herbert has a little more power than Fares does.
What?
But you think Fares has more power than Jai Herbert?
Absolutely, I do.
Jai Herbert almost knocked out future champion. I know it was a weight class up.
That was speed.
And
Jai's very fast.
I actually don't have that in this breakdown because I think that knockdown was kind of bullshit, especially because then he just got knocked out right after. But I think Jai's probably got a little more power, and Fares is going to be a little more technical and manage range a little better. So I very, very low confident pick in Jai Herbert. This, with the heavyweight fight, has potential to be the most boring fight on this card because they're both dude, these guys are super technical. You think this is going to be a fun fight?
I think this could end up being the fight of the night. Both these guys are very skilled. They both can wrestle as well. You saw Ziam bringing in the takedowns in his last fight. They have good scrambles. They're very high-level strikers. Jai is very, very fast, but Ziam is very, very good with the counters. I think this could be the fight of the fucking night.
I think
these guys are very high-level guys.
I didn't say they suck. They like to fight at range, and they're low volume. That's like watching a pitcher's duel in baseball. For the first 6 innings, it sucks.
Not Ziam.
It doesn't get good
not
until there's pressure.
Ziam.
Go ahead,
Ziam's
you break
a
it down.
fucking
I
killer,
think Jai. My pick is Jai. Very low confident fight. Jai either wins a striking match or he's held down for 3 rounds. That's sort of my breakdown on this fight. No bet for me because of that. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both these guys. I like Jai. I like his speed. I like his range. I think he's got the speed advantage in this fight. What it comes down to me, and I mentioned in my quick pick video, is what Ziam is going to show up, because he was completely embarrassed against T-Rex. He looked like a quitter. It looked like he was not going to be that guy. Didn't want to fight, and then he flipped the switch. He said that when he started training, they started doing 100% sparring, fucking all the time. Because I remember they said that on the broadcast. I think Bisping was like, shouldn't do that, probably shouldn't do that. But he came into that last fight fucking locked and loaded, looked incredible from bell to bell, was mixing in wrestlings, these big throw takedowns. So if he comes in locked in like that, I believe he's got the power advantage, and I believe he can win the wrestling exchange as well when he needs to wrestle. And I believe that he can absolutely dominate this fight. But if he comes in, okay, I showed what I can be, now let me back off a little bit, and he's not quite as fired up to prove everyone wrong. Because there is that thing, sometimes you kind of settle into what you're doing after a big win or whatever it is. So I hope he comes in just as fired up as his last fight, mixing in some takedowns. I think he's going to have the power. He can get to Jai. He can hurt Jai. And I think that Ziam can definitely get this done. That's no disrespect to Jai. I think he's a very fast guy, very high-level guy. I just think Ziam is just as high-level striker with a little bit more power and probably a 50% advantage in the wrestling and the grappling from what he showed last fight. So I think it's going to be a fun fight, though.
It could be. I just like, I don't know. I like Jai here. I personally think Jai has more power than Faraz does. And like you mentioned, the speed. Oop.
Whoa! My little dingy-lingy went a little wingy.
Okay, little keyword. $7,500 in DraftKings for Jai. I got to look at how he scores because their striking volumes are so low. And Jai is definitely not really going to initiate a ton of takedowns here. So,
I think those numbers in the fights a little bit, because Jai 2 fights ago was like really, really tentative, but he was coming off that KO to Ilya, and you could really tell he looked a little bit more free flowing in his last fight. I think these guys are going to enjoy fighting each other and going to get after it.
It could be interesting. I mean, Jai, that Ilya knockout was at UFC London, so this is sort of a
face
redemption
plant too.
spot.
That was a bad one.
I know. Sort of by a 45-pounder, but that loss held up. Ilya has done nothing but beat the world since then. So it's not like...
well, one of his wins is...
Okay. It's not like that Ishmael Bonfim got that big win and then came out and just got Benoit Saint-Denis. Anyway.
Embarrassed you. You want to talk about that? Or you want to just...
Okay. You were...
yeah. Who did he...
I said that Ishmael Bonfim will win, and in typical Angelo fashion, I'm like, super close fight. and I was like giving, what's his name, Benoit Saint-Denis, like credit. It's super close fight. He can wrestle. And you were like, I'm a big Saint-Denis fan, and
but he's going to get fucking steamrolled. He can't take this guy down, and Bonfim, or Saint-Denis, picked your clip and not mine. He's scared of
then
me.
He uses my clip of these people are idiots. Like, what? I was the reasonable one. Anyway.
When you said that and I saw that and I realized what that clip was going to be, I thought, oh my God. Because I knew what I said for that breakdown. And then he didn't include me. And I'm like, oh, that's my dude. I love Saint Denis. Maybe it's because it was like, oh, I fucking love that dude. And you were like, nah, he's an idiot. I think it's because you were making fun of the French special forces. You said they were frauds and couldn't defend a country.
Yeah. The problem is none of this is true, but half of these people don't understand sarcasm. So,
well, you did kind of trash the French military. You went on like a 25-minute tangent on how we could do what you said. We could do whatever we want in that French military. Have you seen our Air Force? Our Air Force. And you went on this long-winded thing about the military.
That is how I talk.
North Korea fired a couple short-range ballistic missiles into the sea. How do you feel about that? As a sign of defiance because we moved a nuclear warship into South Korea waters.
Okay. We broke down this fight. Jacob's talking about God knows what. D says, how can I hear your teeth eating a banana? Goddamn chompers. People still don't know your teeth are fake?
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
This is I say a bunch of weird false stuff about Angelo, so he has to hit to the fucking core. Listen, the teeth aren't fucking fake. Okay.
Okay.
I think they're fucking big.
It's weird.
I'll send anybody that DMs me. I'll send you my address. You can come over. You can inspect them yourself.
It's just very odd that you would deny the very obvious fact. Things are fucking clearly.
And this
flat.
is the funny part too. Is like you think that this is like you're like people now they're believing it because the more you talk about it, the more it's obvious that you're just making it up.
Okay. Sure.
So now you're going to leave it because I said it's obvious for talking about it. So no.
What do you think? Like you think you're going to outsmart? It's stupid when you do that dumb bullshit. Okay.
Well, now you're a little flustered.
I'm not flustered. It's
well, relax. Jesus.
Don't get defensive.
I'm not flustered. I'm not flustered.
Yeah, don't get defensive.
Oh, we got a donation.
We did $2 from Professor Chaos. Jacob is talking about chaos, Angelo. Chaos.
And this is what I was thinking about with that short range
$2 Canadian. That's like $1.18.
The short range ballistic missiles. Imagine if because you always hear about them testing those missiles and shooting off these missiles and whatever. Imagine if every single one was intended to hit the U.S. so they just keep fucking failing, and we just are on the news being like they just tested another missile, but every time they're like, damn it, what do we got to do to get a fucking missile over there?
Somebody tell We Are Blue Gaming to get the fuck out of here, pal. Beat it, nerd.
Is that a Twitch thing? I don't see him on YouTube.
Nope, it's YouTube. It said, shut up and make picks.
Oh, I see it now. Hey, We Are Blue Gaming. Fuck your mother. Yeah. It's fun
Next up.
On your side.
I just hate the complaining. Don't watch the live stream then. Wait till it's over and just use the chapters, man. Shut the fuck up, dude. Next up, at UFC London, we have Paul Craig. Oh, look who loved that we talked about him. That's why people are the worst. Next up, at UFC London, we have Paul Craig taking on Andre Muniz. Paul Craig, 16-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, riding a 2-fight skid. He's taking on Andre Muniz, 23-5 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off the submission loss to Brendan Allen. This is an interesting fight, and it goes against everything I believe in, honestly, because I'm a big Paul
Catholic.
Craig. Both these guys are most likely Catholic, honestly. I'm a big, actually, I'm sure they are. I'm a big anti-jiu-jitsu nerd, anti-jiu-jitsu nerd kind of guy. But this is somewhat of an interesting fight because we got Andre Muniz. This guy is a legitimate BJJ killer. He has all the jiu-jitsu credentials you could ever want. He uses them effectively in the cage. He actually gets takedowns, so he's not butt scooting. He's got decent striking. He was having success against Brendan Allen on the feet. And then surprisingly lost all of the grappling exchanges against Brendan Allen on the ground, which was his last fight. But overall, Andre Muniz is a very complete package. And for up until his last fight, a lot of people were talking about, this guy's the next big deal. He's taking on Paul Craig. Paul Craig is coming down in weight. He was a 205. He was a big 205 pound. Not huge, but like a big guy. Yeah.
That's him.
That's him working his way down.
With the weight down.
He's working his way down to 185. He is a grappler as well. He's dangerous on the ground. He's proven to be insanely tough. He has more than one fight where he was getting the crap beaten out of him and then pulled off a last-minute submission. That tells me two things. One, he's always dangerous, right? He's dangerous in the first 30 seconds, like when he broke Jamal Hill's arm, and he's dangerous in the last 30 seconds, like when he submitted Ankalaev in that fight. And the second thing it tells me is to be dangerous at the end of a fight, to be dangerous in the beginning of a fight, he's not a pussy. Paul Craig's not a pussy. He's tough as nails. He's not going to quit on himself. He's going to stay in that fight, and if his chin gives out, his chin gives out. But other than that, he will be there. He's going to continue to fight. My biggest issue with him is that his takedowns are not great, so he doesn't necessarily control if he's going to get it to the ground and if he's going to win the fight there, because that's where he needs it to be for the most part. He will throw big, heavy punches. He will try to make stuff happen on the feet, but the reality is Paul Craig needs to win with grappling. This, to me, is an interesting fight to break down. People are loving Andre Muniz. The line movement doesn't reflect the general tone that I'm seeing in the Discord or in the comment section. It seems to be very pro Muniz, so the line movement is a little surprising there. Here's my issue with Muniz. It's not an issue with him, but in that last fight, he looked a little washed. He just didn't look very good. As soon as things got a little bit tough and as soon as Brendan Allen got that takedown, Muniz kind of like broke, folded, melted. Like that never should have happened. Not the way that went down. Where Paul Craig, you can make fun of him for pulling guard and all that stuff. That dude bombs. He bombs. He's not going to quit. He doesn't have it in him. I'm still going to pick Muniz because is somebody calling you?
Go. Keep going.
Playing. I think Muniz is he's the pick. Very slight lean towards Muniz because I think he's going to get the takedowns. I think he can control that aspect of all this, and that's going to be the difference. Jakey boy, have at it.
Lock of the week, Paul Craig. And I'm telling you right now, I changed my mind completely because I had Andre Muniz when I broke down this fight. And I thought, of course Andre Muniz is going to win this fight. He's the better striker. He can withstand the grappling. Of course he's going to come in and win. Hey, and even Paul Craig coming down from 205, how is he going to look coming in? He's probably going to look absolutely awful on the scale on Friday. But how is he going to react late in his career coming down, trying to reinvent himself? And then I thought about it. And I thought about it, and then I've always made this comparison. I told you the same thing. Paul Craig is just basically a 205-pound Ryan Hall. And you guys know how I feel about Ryan the fucking Wizard Hall. And then I thought, you know what? If this was Ryan Hall on this card, would I be picking against him? Would I be betting against him? Fuck no! I wouldn't be fucking betting against fucking Ryan Hall. So what am I going to do against the 205-pound Ryan Hall? I gotta stick with my guys and pick Paul Craig as my lock of the week. I believe in my mind that this fight will go to the ground. I don't think Andre Muniz is scared of Paul Craig, and that is going to be a big mistake. And also, I believe that Andre Muniz is going to want to get a submission back. He was just embarrassed by getting submitted by Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's a very high-level guy, but Andre Muniz was supposed to be the high-level jiu-jitsu guy in that matchup. He is going to come in. He is going to want a submission win against Paul Craig to get that win back and to get that loss off his record, and he is going to run into absolute trouble against Paul Craig in this fight. He is going to get submitted. It is lock of the week. And let's not forget too, because I agree, Paul Craig doesn't have very good takedowns. So what was he doing against Johnny Walker? He was about to take that motherfucker down. He had his leg. He was about to treetop him. And any other person probably gets taken down. But Johnny Walker, being Johnny Walker, throws like this weird, rangy, wild strike. He's fucking 6'8". Any other person he is taking down, and he probably is going to win that fight. So, I mean, that's lock of the week, baby. That's easy. That's fucking easy. That's fucking easy.
It's definitely not easy. It is definitely not easy. But the pick is Muniz for me. All right, lower it. It's loud as shit.
All right, turn it off.
Wear a skirt. Wear a skirt on the stream.
A skirt. You want to be that fucking disrespectful with it? It's a kilt, you stupid, ignorant bitch. Don't ever fucking disrespect my lock of the week. I'll come over there right now. Before the stream's over, I'll walk through those fucking doors and slap the fucking shit out of you. You ever disrespect my lock of the week like that again.
I'll give you $1,000 you do that.
I could be there 15 minutes.
Okay.
I'm not good to drive.
Oh my god. Yeah. Good to drive.
That would be a tough one.
It would completely backfire because if you did
that drive might take 45 minutes.
If people saw you walk through this door, they'd be like, "Oh, he is short as fuck."
They'd be like, "Oh man, Angelo's in fucking trouble."
That was like that was one of my favorite. All right, let's finish this real quick, and then we'll go back to that. $6,900 for Paul Craig in DraftKings, $93 for Andre Muniz. I think it's this is a tricky fight. First of all, the 1.5 round line. Great round line. The over is the easiest play, at least in my opinion. But then it got juiced. It took off. A lot of people hit that because I think Paul Craig is tough enough to because I don't think Andre Muniz is going to submit him, at least not early. And Andre Muniz does have hands, but does he have one punch knockout power over Paul Craig? I don't know. Maybe that 85-pound weight cut potentially, but $6,900 in DraftKings, not for a cash game, certainly for a GPP tournament or something like that. If you want to see our full rankings, we rank every single salary group, every single fighter. We give you breakdowns of all of them to say how you should use them, where you should use them, who you should fade, and all of that for DraftKings specifically. We on Picks.com. It's only $10 a month to unlock that, as well as courses. If you don't know what DraftKings Fantasy is, you see these numbers, you go, what the hell is that? I promise you, it is a ton of fun to play DraftKings Fantasy, and you can walk through a whole course, understand all the terminology, even take a nice little test at the end. We on Picks.com, only $10 a month.
No, this is still the same breakdown. Guys, don't pick Paul Craig. I think Andre Bannon should win this fight.
Okay, just went completely against all your own bullshit.
I'm just trying to be honest. Lock of the week this week is, and while you were away, I kind of said the same thing because somebody asked. Like my pick was, Muniz, and now it's Paul Craig. You will notice, and premium members know when my lock of the week is like an actual lock of the week, right? Because, I'll load up on bets so they can see the bets or whatever. If you just see my bet on Paul Craig, you understand this is a flyer. This is going to be fun. We're going to have fun Saturday for the live stream. So if you guys are, like, still chasing money from the last lock of the weeks that were completely out of my control, Paul Craig is, what'd you just say, bitch?
Come over.
Start over.
Anyway, so real quick, we'll show this super chat. $19.99 from Alan Stubbs. Lock of the week streak starts now. Look at this blind loyalty. Craig by sub, appreciate you, fellas. Thank you so much, Alan. Oh, Jesus Christ. Genuinely appreciate it. What I was going to say is, you mentioned you were going to come over here. I said people are going to see you in the doorway and realize you're short. That was my favorite thing for the very first Fight Foods vlog I ever did. People, all the comments were like, holy shit, he really is short. And we're like, how the hell could they figure out he's short? You purposely didn't stand next to Bo, who's 6'7". You didn't stand next to me. How did people figure it out? And people were like, the doorway. It's like, oh shit.
I'm fucking 6 foot tall. What is people's
6
issues?
foot tall.
Yes, I am.
6 foot tall. Okay.
If you would have invited me to your wedding, you would have seen.
Yeah,
I was not invited.
You're going to wear lifts. You coming over for UFC 291? You better
Are you going to come to my wedding? It's destination.
If I'm alive.
It's destination. That would hurt. That cut deep.
All right, let's go. Next up, at UFC London, we have Nathaniel Wood taking on Andre Fili. Nathaniel Wood, 19-5 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off the decision win over Charles Jourdain. He's taking on Andre Fili, 22-9 overall, 2-2-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that split decision win over Bill Algeo. This is actually another interesting fight to break down. People are loving Nathaniel Wood here. This line movement. I agree with the line movement. I think this fight's closer, but again, this line movement does not match the general sentiment of the Discord or of the comment section. I have not seen anybody pick Andre Fili. Nobody. We do 220,000 views in 28 days. I haven't seen a single person say, I think Andre Fili wins this fight. So I'm surprised that that's the movement. But the reality is Nathaniel Wood's a very good striker. He's got solid power, nice dirty boxing. He can grapple as well. He actually started his UFC career with 3 submission wins in a row. He's got slick upper body takedowns, great control on the ground. His volume is incredible at 6 significant strikes per minute, and he has a 73% takedown defense. You're going to see, he's coming off an injury. It was a knee injury. He had to pull out of his last fight. It's not a Tom Aspinall knee injury. It was a straight up cut. There was no surgery. There was no, shattered this. It was just a bad cut that needed stitches, and there was no way those stitches were going to stay together for a fight. So that does factor into this because I actually forgot that it was just a cut. I remember he's out because of a knee injury. And then when I looked it up, it was like, oh, that's right. It was just a cut from the wrestling mat. So should be 100%, shouldn't be an issue here at all. He's taking on Andre Fili. Andre Fili is very good, and he's very good everywhere. For a period in time, he was supposed to be the next big thing out of Team Alpha Male. And then he fought killers. If you go through his resume, he has fought absolute killers, and he fought them early in his career. He's got very good wrestling. He's got very good striking. He's got good footwork, good power. I would call him a technical brawler with wrestling because he's got that, who's the chinny former champion? Cody Garbrandt.
Oh, gotta be Aljo.
He's got the Cody Garbrandt in him where he will just like brawl it out. But he's got very good wrestling, good footwork. He's got all the tools. He's the type of guy that if he's on, he can beat anyone on any given day, or he can look awful. I think he's sort of been plagued with injuries and stuff like that. But Andre Fili, very, very good. The line movement makes a lot of sense to me. I agree with it. I do not have Nathaniel Wood in any parlays or anything like that. I do think he probably does win. He should be a little faster, a little more technical. But the reality is, if Andre wants to work in the wrestling, if Andre wants to come in and bomb and transition, then Andre can win this fight. I just don't think he does. So Nathaniel Wood is the pick, but I do think people should probably leave it alone.
Oh,
Go ahead.
First of all, I want to say Andre Touchy-Feely, beautiful man. I mean, that is a great fucking face that he's got. But I want to really draw your attention to Nathaniel Wood because have you watched Prison Break?
No.
I don't know why you haven't watched Prison Break, but his brother, the one that's in prison, Link, Nathaniel Woods, his head is exactly like Link in Prison Break. So if you watch Prison Break, I'm sure there's somebody in the chat that can verify that information. But I love Nathaniel Wood in this matchup. He is very good. I mean, he is very, very good. His striking is very good. His wrestling is good. His jiu-jitsu is very good. He is a very, very good fighter. And since he's came to 145, he's almost looked like I don't want to say a different person because he's always been good, but he seems like he's much more comfortable in what he wants to do. And it seems like every single time he fights at one, I mean, it's only a couple fights now, but it seems like the fights always go the way that he kind of wants the fights to go. And even when he's in those kind of dangerous situations, you never see him really kind of freaking out or losing his composure. And he just kind of works through what he wants to do in fights. And he came to 145 and fought probably the two most durable guys in the fucking division. Charles Rosa is extremely durable. Charles Jourdain, extremely durable. He almost had Charles Jourdain like out in like the first round. Touchy-Feely is also a very, very tough guy. Right? All three of those guys are very, very tough, but I don't think Andre Fili really has the durability of a Charles Rosa or a Charles Jourdain. He does get hit. He is tough, but I don't think he's going to have the durability of Nathaniel Wood being all over him with the striking, maybe mixing in a takedown or two. He's got to be careful. He's shooting takedowns. Andre Fili, Team Alpha Male, Team Guillotine, they do love those front chokes, so he's got to be careful. He wants to mix in takedowns. They can't be sloppy, and I don't think he's going to get those trip takedowns he was getting on Charles Jourdain, but I love Nathaniel Wood. At 145, I think he can be a guy in this division. I love his boxing. I mean, nice and tight and just working the body, working the head, stays in the pocket, and really work it like a boxer. I mean, he will stay in there and just dirty box and everybody and just stay safe, stay shelled up, and just hit you with shots. And I think he's going to wear down Andre Fili. Andre Fili is a guy that has pretty much beat everyone he's supposed to beat. And every time he fights somebody that's just kind of on that next level, it seems like he's always losing to that person. And I just think that Nathaniel Wood is just kind of that next level guy that he really struggles against. So I'm all over Nathaniel Wood. And if you're a premium member, you have seen that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my hesitation is just how good Andre Fili can be. It's not my concern isn't, oh, Nathaniel Wood's the parlay buster, he's going to mess up. My concern is just, man, if Andre Fili comes out looking good, it's going to be a long night. Do you not agree, though, that on any given night, that dude can put it all together and look fantastic?
Yeah, Andre Fili is a very good fighter. Like I said, he beats everyone he should be. But if you look at his losses, obviously one of them's Bryce Mitchell, which, I mean, that is what it is. But Joe Anderson Brito, Sadiq Youssef, Michael Johnson, Calvin Kattar, Yair Rodriguez, even Max Holloway back in the day.
They're
just
all
seems
ranked
like,
guys.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I think Nathaniel Wood is that kind of talent level
Gotcha.
of being where it's just, I just don't think he can get there. But yeah, he's a very good fighter. Very good fighter.
Yeah. Well, so we're both on the same side of the pick. We're just probably a little farther on the spectrum. And as you all know, Jacob is on the spectrum. Just very,
Oh, I bet you had that one written down. Couldn't wait to say it.
That'll convince him you're not. Do that laugh again. $9,200 in DraftKings. You trust him that much?
Yep.
Okay, then. WeWantPicks.com, unlock all the picks, all the bets. Jacob mentioned he's got a bunch going on here with Nathaniel Wood. If you're already a premium member, link the Discord. First of all, the Discord is free if you're not a premium member. You can hop in, hang out. If you are a premium member, link your Discord to your premium membership account so you can get alerts to your phone. They are never more important than on prop day, which is usually Monday or Tuesday, and Fridays. Fridays after the weigh-ins, the rest of the props drop. All those who's going to win the first round props, the takedown props, the striking props. They usually seem to be after weigh-ins.
I literally grab them right when they open.
Well,
They're usually before weigh-ins, through weigh-ins.
Through. So some are after.
Just like my fist going to go through your fucking jaw. You ever talk to me like that again?
Right here, you know where I live. You haven't even been to my new house yet, actually. Oh, that's the only reason you're not going to come.
Literally never been invited because I'm always streaming. So
no, you're always invited and choose.
Never have been invited. I'm just always streaming.
Jacob, I would like to invite you to come over for UFC 291 next weekend. Will you be here? Please come. That's a sincere invite, actually, as they all are.
If only one person in the stream wants me to, or in the chat wants me to stream, but if we get two, you're outvoted. Oh, fuck.
There's your fat fuck dog eating its second meal on this stream.
You can disparage me. Don't disparage the dog. She's done nothing wrong.
A little heavy, though. It was sincere. Anybody who's been watching for a while knows that I always want Jacob to come over.
Well, you just got outvoted. Sorry. I'm
really
undecided, though.
Come?
I don't know.
Yeah, you should come. No, you should. The pay-per-views, you come, you hang out, man. Just enjoy. You're
the
the
late
king
ones
of the
are
fight
rough.
nights.
I mean, those late streams are rough.
No,
And it's probably going to be a shit card, too, because that's fucking at elevation. People keep forgetting that's at elevation. And those elevation cards have been fucking terrible.
6 heavyweight fights. The UFC loves doing that shit. All right, let's go. Next up at UFC London, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have former -400 favorite Molly McCann taking on Julia Stolorienko. Molly McCann, 13-5 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. She's coming off that loss to Erin Blanchfield. She's taking on Julia Stolorienko, 10-7 overall, 1-4 in her last 5, coming off that knockout loss to Chelsea Chandler. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Why, does Molly have fake teeth?
Yeah, just big ass fucking fake teeth. Yeah.
Anybody that isn't watching live, it was
Big.
somebody just said Jacob and Molly have the same teeth. Anyway,
She's hot.
Molly McCann is a fun, aggressive striker who likes to fight dirty in the pocket. She doesn't have a ton of power, but she is aggressive. She will swing away. She's got 2 spinning back fist knockouts or back elbow knockouts in the last 18 months, which is actually pretty incredible. And while she does prefer to just hang out and slug it out, she will work in takedowns. She has plenty of cardio. She's pretty technically sound. She is coming off that loss to Erin Blanchfield, but everybody other than Jacob recognizes that Erin Blanchfield's very, very good.
She's a bum.
Julia Stolorienko is a grappler. She's got miserable takedown accuracy of 25%. But she is a grappler. She's very, very slick off of her back. She's got a ton of submission wins in her career. Striking, a bit sloppy striking, but, and she is hittable with her negative striking differential of 2-4, but she is willing to brawl. She's got heavy kicks, and I did mention that 25% takedown accuracy, which is low, but it is important to note that 2 fights in a row, she had nice, clean takedowns.
Who?
Julia Stolorienko.
You know who one of her best friends is?
Who?
Tabitha Ricci. Tabitha's usually in her corner. I don't think she's going to be, but Tabitha, if you're watching this, I just want to say I think your Instagram work lately has been fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to us hanging out sometime soon. Just let me know. Wait, did he freeze? I thought he was fucking with me. Holy shit, is he gone?
Are you talking to me?
What the fuck was it? Yeah, you just froze on my end. Holy shit. You did freeze on YouTube too, I think. Holy shit. I literally thought you were fucking with me because I said that and then you were just like... And I was just sitting here because I thought you...
Froze?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Well, anyway, I think Molly McCann gets it done. This fight is absolutely set up for her to get the win. They want her to get another highlight win. They want it to be a whole thing. So Molly McCann's going to be the easy pick here. I'm actually surprised this line collapsed on itself. People talking about, she can get submitted and this. She got taken down and submitted by Erin Blanchfield. Okay, not like Julia is good. She's got dangerous submissions, but off of her back. So if Molly doesn't shoot takedowns, then Molly should be fine. Molly should. You don't necessarily want to parlay her, but she could be parlayable.
Relax.
And people talk about my Wi-Fi. You know what's brutal before I hand it over real quick? Not only do I have full gig fiber, my MacBook is plugged into the internet. So I'm not even using Wi-Fi.
MacBook, wow.
Pro.
I just bought, by the way, if you guys like the live streams, I literally just bought a $2,000 fucking computer so I can do whatever I want with the OBS. Because last time I added a bunch of shit to OBS, was fucking up my computer. So you better fucking tune into those fucking live streams. But to break down this fight, I think that Julia is a little bit underrated. She is a one-trick pony. She, will in the striking. She's not a very good striker. You can kind of work her down, but she is tougher when people realize. And her wrestling is a little bit underrated as well. I mean, she basically had that Chelsea Chandler fight won. Easy little double leg, boom, boom, got on top of her, chased the armbar because that's what she does. She has nothing else it seems except for that armbar. So she went for the armbar, lost the position. It got back to the feet, and then she was ended up just getting absolutely beat up in that fight. But against a girl like Molly, weird things can happen because Molly will probably get aggressive in front of the home crowd, knowing that Julia isn't a very good striker. If she gets taken down, she is in trouble. I mean, Julia is a one-trick pony, but she's very good at getting to that position. So I understand that Molly definitely should win this fight, but Julia is tough. She can't get takedowns, and on the ground, she is still very, very dangerous. And Molly is... She is still Molly, She's was never going to be a fucking UFC champion. You gotta remember that. It's not like she's fucking just beating up everyone. She's beating up people who she probably should beat up. And that one of those spinning back fist fights was like a close fight until that happened. So it's not like she's some world beater. Molly losing this fight would not be a huge surprise to me.
I would be a little surprised because she actually does have decent striking. She should be able to defend the takedowns. Like, I know she doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, and Julia did work in some nice takedowns.
Molly seems like a person that would shoot a takedown in the first minute for no fucking reason and get armbarred.
She does have quite a few takedowns. Like, I mean, she's averaging
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think that she'd be like, I can just maul her on the ground, and then she's going to take her down, throw that first elbow, and go, whoa, there it goes.
I don't think she will in London. I think she'll bang it out and... try to be fun and exciting for the fans and do all of that. So I am on the Molly side. I'm very confident. I'm very confident in her, but I probably not going to spend the $9,400 in DraftKings because I do think she wins. I think it's a fun win. I don't know if she's just going to one punch knock out Julia Stolarienko. Molly's not super powerful, and Julia's huge for this 5'7" versus 5'4", whatever.
And she's got a great best friend.
I'm married, Jacob. No, I can't. No grenade. WeHomePicks.com. Unlock everything we have to offer. It's available for only $10 a month. Are you going to spend the $6,800 in DraftKings on Julia, or it's more of a flyer for a big DraftKings tournament because she might get that submission?
If you're taking a flyer, I would take Paul Craig over Julia.
Okay.
Because he's 69, right?
Okay.
No, I'm being serious. I think he's $6,900. So if you can probably flop one or the other, I'd rather have Paul Craig than Julia.
I'd rather have Julia than Paul Craig.
You're fucking stupid.
$5 super chat from Junior Ranks. He says, Molly had the most cringe moment in UFC history when she ran around the octagon with that replica UFC belt. It was painful to watch. That was. I do feel a little bad for her, though, because... people, that's all people talk about anytime Molly fights is that moment. And she was
What's
just
wrong
with
it, though?
That literally...
That was just in the moment. It wasn't like a predetermined thing. It was just she saw it, she grabbed it, and she did it.
And it literally...
People want to hate on people for just having fun. People just have fun. Like, who cares? You're trying to police people on how they're allowed to have fun. Who gives a fuck? People are just having fun. Everything's fake anyway. We all die. Who gives a shit? Like the stream.
Some of us die before other people get married. But it might literally have been the best moment of her entire life. Like, literally. Think about it. There was a big win, an exciting win, the way she won at home. Like, there was... Who knows? But I agree. It's funny because we were at a neighbor's house on Friday, and...
oh, God, here's more neighbor stories. That's all you got. But, okay, go ahead.
So I hang out with my neighbors. That's what people do.
Well, at least I have interesting stories, but go ahead.
We were hanging out with the neighbor. You said don't
judge. Can you put a time on this? How long you think this is going to be?
I would have been done.
So people know
already.
that they can come out or leave.
I would have been done already. I would have been done already. You mentioned people, they want to judge how people have fun. So we were there. We were using the Kraken. That thing's fucking awesome. We were
With
using
your
the
fucking
Kraken.
White Claws.
No, I was fuck White Claws.
With your liquid deaths.
No, shit. The real vodka ones. High Noons. Anyway, so we're doing those, and one of my neighbors, my buddy, pulls out like a bottle of rosé. Was drinking that, and they were about to make fun of him. I was like, no, I will not shame what people drink. That's where I draw the line, Jacob. That's where you're gonna have fun. That's the drink you want to have some fun. Rosé's fucking delicious.
What the fucking point of that story was?
Because you were saying, why are people, Molly's so cringe. Why are we giving her such a hard time? She's just having some fun. Who cares? Okay. And I'm saying same thing. We're all having a drink. Who cares what he drinks? Everybody's just having some fun. Who cares?
Listen, you guys want to hold on to each other's dicks? I don't, whatever.
The elephant walk.
What the fuck? Did you just come up with that, or is that a fucking actual thing?
It's a thing. It's a thing. I guess nobody.
Should you reach under?
Everybody, yeah.
Between the legs?
Like trunks, yeah.
Oh, my God.
All right. Next up at UFC London, we have the main event of the evening. We have Tom Aspinall taking on Marcin Tybura. Tom Aspinall, 12-3 overall. 4-1 in his last 5, coming off that freak injury loss to Curtis Blades. I'm laughing because pretty sure I left out the P when I said his name. 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that freak injury loss to Curtis Blades. Freak injury. It can't be more clear than that. But it does go down as a loss because...
kind of like last week, huh? Feels
even
familiar.
faster. It was 15 seconds instead of the 35. He's taking on Marcin Tybura. 24-7 overall. 4-1 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight win streak. Tom Aspinall, as I mentioned, he's coming back after a year where he had that freak injury. He needed MCL surgery. This guy's a great striker. We've said this time and time again, and I don't know if he still does, but at one point in time, he was doing some training with Tyson Fury. For a heavyweight, he has excellent hand speed, really good defense, diverse attack style. He mixes in kicks really well. And that's just his striking. He also has a whole slew of grappling credentials. He's a BJJ black belt, 100% takedown accuracy, 100% takedown defense. He averages 4 takedowns per 15 minutes. And I mentioned he's coming off that freak loss. He's taking on Marcin Tybura. This guy's just I don't want to say just. He is a durable grinder. He will come forward, get you against the cage. Just grind. Drag you to the ground. Grind. He's not an easy guy to get out of there. He's not a guy that you just weather the storm. He can just go for 15 minutes, just pushing forward, working, grinding, trying to get you to the ground, staying on top, hanging tough. We saw that in his fight against Alexander Romanov. The dude was picked up, slammed down, just getting absolutely smoked.
Mollywopped.
He came out, he stayed tough, he kept grinding, and he got that done. So Marcin Tybura is not a guy that you're just going to get out of here in 2 seconds. I do think Tom Aspinall wins. I think it's a very straightforward win. I think talent-wise, skill-wise, there's a giant gap between these two guys. Tom Aspinall has, for the heavyweight division, he may have the fastest hands we've seen at heavyweight. I off the top of my head, I can't think of another heavyweight.
What about John Jones?
John Jones never was fast.
Wow, I wouldn't say that. Sorry, John. Jesus.
John Jones is known for his speed?
Well, sorry, John.
Anyway, Tom Aspinall, insanely fast hands. We've seen the grappling. We've seen the wrestling. We've seen it all. So I think this is a very easy, straightforward win for Tom Aspinall. This line closure is actually surprising to me. Maybe it's because it's heavyweights. People are worried about the knee. The knee is a bit of a, does he trust it? Does he not trust it?
Why didn't you say that last week when your most confident pick was coming off knee surgery? Hypocrisy.
Because she blew her knee out in the fight. She blew her knee out in the fight and continued to come forward and win that fight with a blown out knee. Idiot. So I knew she wasn't afraid to use it.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
Do you still have yours?
I don't know.
Well, then check, and there's your answer. I think Tom Aspinall wins. I do think over 1.5 rounds Marcin Tybura is very, very durable, very tough. And Tom may come out a little slower, like, give it a minute to trust his knee and stuff. So I think over 1.5 makes sense. Tom Aspinall is absolutely the pick. Jakey boy, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm more interested in how Tom is going to win this fight rather than is he going to win this fight. And that's nothing against Tom or Marcin Tybura because he is a tough dude. And his path to victory in this is either a lucky shot or he's got to survive, get this to the 3rd round, get this to the 4th round, get this to the 5th round, and just see if you can wear down a guy like Tom Aspinall, who's going to be the much better fighter. But I'm going to say in this matchup, I think the easiest path to victory for Tom is to wrestle. And I was very, very surprised when the odds opened for submission. I understand that Marcin Tybura, everyone's going to say, oh, he's never been submitted. I don't give a fuck. If Tom Aspinall wants to submit this guy, I believe that he can submit this guy. He's a very high-level guy. He can get the takedowns. We've seen Tybura getting taken down before, especially a guy, as you mentioned, coming off knee surgery. How did he blow out that knee? Same arena, right? Same arena. Striking. He was trying to strike, so there could be that little pause for concern. I don't want bouncing around striking. Let me just get a takedown early and try to work submissions. And when those lines open, and I got those for premium members, so we'll see if they hit or not. Round 1 submission on BetOnline open up plus 1,500. Round 2 submission open up plus 2,000. Those lines now have moved all the way to plus 500 and plus 750. I think he's going to come in, get an early takedown, and just try to work submissions, not even worry about maybe blowing out his knee or hurting his knee or worrying about the striking. If he wants to, obviously, I think he can win that fight. But I think the easiest path to victory is take him down and try to work for submissions. And just because you have never been submitted doesn't mean you can't get submitted, guys. This is a high-level guy, a powerful guy, and I think Tom wins however he wants, but I believe he's going to wrestle.
He may. He's averaging 4 takedowns per 15 minutes. He gets takedowns. He works them often. And, yeah, if he doesn't trust his knee, he might. Or he actually may avoid takedowns as well for that exact same reason because you're going to step in.
These days?
They've been holding up. That Osgood Slaughters.
Can he do a squat force back there?
No.
I think he could. Just push off, just woo, and then you'd have enough room back there.
Here's the problem.
I want to hear him crack a pop.
When I stand up after sitting here for 2.5 hours or whatever it is doing this, it's always like,
It's like The Office when he's like, even when you stood up, I could tell you had diabetes or whatever it is. Just the sound that you made. And just,
it is.
You've got the electric chair that sits up for you. Slowly sits you up. My handicapped mother's got one.
Oh, well, there you go. There goes that. Tom Aspinall, 9,700 DraftKings. I do trust it because I think he could get a bunch of takedowns and then win by finish, which is like a perfect DraftKings score. Actually, perfect score was Aylin Perez at freaking 138 points. What do you want?
I think that's Indianapolis tattooed on Tom Aspinall's channel. Is that downtown Indianapolis?
It could literally be a life-size replica of downtown Indianapolis on his chest.
I think that's downtown Indianapolis.
That city
that's
is
Monument
small,
Circle. That's Monument
vacant,
Circle right
and the dump. I'm spending $9,700 on DraftKings. Are you, Jacob?
Yeah, I think so.
There you go. WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. It's only $10 a month. I can't even list all the things that you will get with that $10, but I promise you it is the greatest value in this space that
and it just shows support too,
or will be. That's a very good point as well.
It just shows support, man. We put a lot of work in. Angelo puts even more work. You guys think that I do a lot of stuff. Angelo does a lot more than me. We got web guy Josh that does a ton of work. They both do more work than me. But even if you just appreciate me sitting in front of the fucking stream for fucking 8 hours every Saturday instead of going to Angelo's house and having fun and living my life and just being a fucking hermit in my fucking apartment with no friends, no fucking future, no fucking girlfriend, sign up to be a premium member, $10 a month so I can get the fuck out of here and get to fucking Brazil.
There you go. And premium membership is going to include a whole bunch of stuff, but before you get there, let me give you $50. Go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners using our links, and I will send you $50 as a thank you. That's WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, use the link, make a deposit. I will send you $50. You can take that $50, become a premium member, unlock all the tools, the information. We have the line movement tracker, 5 fighters this week have flipped from underdog to favorite. We have detailed data, metrics, analytics, all sorts of stuff. I hear him watching in the background. We have DraftKings ownership projections, DraftKings tools, DraftKings information. We have the full optimizer, anything you could ever want to build a winning DraftKings lineup. And if you're new to DraftKings, don't necessarily know what it is, we have courses that'll help you learn what it is and teach you along the way. And these courses will walk you through all of the terms, the information, how to build a lineup, what type of contest, how much money you should be spending, anything you can need to start your DraftKings journey. And it's not just me and Jacob. We have Artem breaking down all fights, UFC or otherwise. We have the Pick Doctor. That's the AI, or he is the person developing the AI that will probably replace us all at some point. Follow that journey, read the articles breaking down, what he's doing, how he's doing it, and how that's all going. We on picks.com. Click to become a member. It is only $10 a month. Thank you guys so much. And don't forget, UFC 291, we are breaking it down Sunday night. Saturday is UFC London. Sunday night, UFC 291, 7:30 p.m. Central. Same time, same place, different day. See you there.